Hello. Good evening and thanks for joining. Got a lot in store tonight from the world of Disney, so super excited about that. Where's everyone joining from tonight? Hopefully around the world. Do I have any predictions or hopes tonight? Yes, to say the least. Um, I think starting with some of the, I guess, most predictable predictions, you could say. Um, Lots of stuff coming to Walt Disney World that they've already alluded to. Hopefully an update on the Tropical Americas land for Animal Kingdom. Hopefully an update for what's beyond Big Thunder in the Magic Kingdom. I think those are really the two biggest things they'll be focusing on for Walt Disney World in particular. And then I think some more far reaching things is, this might not be the right time and place for it, but potentially an opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland. Um, I think staying with Disneyland, hopefully, we'll get some more details on a possible Pandora going to DCA and just more details on Disneyland Forward in general. Um, so those are my predictions. So we'll have to see. Will you be watching live and giving us live updates? So watching live to the biggest extent that I can, with how everything is set up this year. They're obviously not doing a traditional live stream. So basically, the whole purpose of this is to gather information via Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as it's coming in and try to consolidate it. So, still scratching my head as to why Disney was not able to do a live stream. It might have something to do with, there being certain rights of them doing things in the Honda Center in Anaheim, which is a new venue for them this year for D23. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But basically, we'll be kind of aggregating all of the different inputs as they're coming in here, and we'll see. And I also think as we get a little bit closer to the start time of the event, which is 7 o'clock Pacific time, you'll see some people on X and Instagram and TikTok, doing a whole bunch of live streams as well. Or if Disney is gatekeeping that in any way, we'll have to see. But either way, I think this evening's event will have far and beyond better updates and news than we saw at the last one, which was underwhelming to say the least. Um, Joining from the UK, hello. Thanks for joining. Hoping for some substantial Disneyland Paris news, and my out of left field, super unlikely prediction is a UK park announcement to rival Universal. I would be lying if I said that hasn't crossed my mind as well. Um, I don't know if Disney will dip their toes too much in that area if they already have a pretty strong foothold in Paris, but we could wish, right? I think if the UK pavilion at Epcot is any testament to Disney's ability to understand the United Kingdom and all that great country has to offer, we'll kind of keep it as a far hope, but we'll have to see. But I mean, regardless, pretty cool that what Universal's doing. I think they saw an opportunity and really started to run with it. So I expect after we kind of get over the Epic Universe hump next year, we'll start to see some more, uh, updates from Universal Destinations um, or Universal Experience. I forgot what they rebranded themselves as. I think Universal Destinations. Um, see what they're going to do for that UK park. Mr. Lucas joining from LA, going to Disneyland tomorrow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Are you a Magic Key holder? You're just going for the day? What does that look like? Obviously, it's a crazy time to be going to going to the Anaheim parks around D23. They had to pick any country for a new park. They probably go for UK. Seems like the likely option, but wishful thinking. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that would be great. Um, I think they obviously have a really strong presence in Asia between Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo Disney Resort. So would love to see more of a presence in Europe for sure. Not a Magic Key holder, just a family vacation. Very nice. Have an amazing time. Um, was just in Disneyland a little over a year ago. Can't wait to go back. Love the original Walt Disney theme park. Walt's fingertips all over that place, obviously. So love that. Love both of those parks, but Disneyland park in particular. But kind of talked about my predictions tonight, but would love to hear from the chat what other people would love to see in here. Obviously, a lot is riding on this D23 Expo, as I kind of talked about previously. The 2022 Expo was pretty underwhelming with a lot of the blue sky stuff, but it was really great to see Bruce Vaughan, the chief creative officer of Walt Disney Imagineering, say that they're actually going to start getting shovels in the ground and everything. So really, really, really excited for some of those more tangible updates. What's your thought on last night's entertainment panel? I liked it a lot. I think it was really great to have Bob Iger come out and kind of introduce it all. He was clearly like emotionally touched by being back at D23 for the first time in 5 years. And little known fact, he's the one who actually really started the expo 15 years ago in the earlier times of his original tenure as Disney CEO. But I thought the entertainment panel was great. I thought there was some nice surprises, but also some predictable outcomes of that as well. So surprises including the Stitch live action movie. I don't know if that was like rumored at all, but at least it was a surprise to me. The Greatest Showman musical, that's going to be freaking awesome. I think that was a really big highlight. And then, I grew up with Toy Story as like one of my favorite Disney Pixar movies as a kid. So, I can't complain about a Toy Story 5. 30 years of that franchise is pretty crazy. And then Jenna and I are big Marvel heads as well. So all that they announced on that front. So more of a Captain America Brave New World update was great. Was really great to see the trailers for Agatha All Along as well as Daredevil. Been waiting a while for the new Daredevil series to come out. So they just announced that that's coming out in March on Disney Plus, which will be great. But yeah, I thought it was a really obviously well produced entertainment panel. Disney Live Entertainment always does these things really well, and I think it was a really great example and a foreshadow of what's going to come tonight for the experiences panel with all the audiovisual stuff and just the capabilities they have being in the Honda Center. So all really exciting stuff. As a theater fan, I'm happy Disney theatrical had its own segment. Felt well deserved. I agree. I agree. I think I grew up in New York originally, and going to see shows like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, all those things on Broadway. That's very much ingrained in like my upbringing. So it was great to see more of a littler known aspect of the Disney company getting some promotion there. And I think there was a Frozen announcement too, that they're going to be not in addition to Frozen 3, the theatrical release. There'll be I think video recording one of the stage shows of Frozen the musical on Broadway and then releasing that to Disney Plus. So that's pretty cool. For my predictions, I have the predictable stuff Beyond Big Thunder, Tropical Americas. I also think an update on Disneyland Forward and an opening date for TBA at Disneyland. Yeah, I really and great to see we have a bunch of theater fans in the house. That's awesome. I did a lot of stage crew and pit orchestra in grade school, so my sisters performed. I'm not really a performer, so I did more of the behind the scenes stuff. But great to have you guys here. Um, but yeah, I think, like I said at the start, like there's a lot of little low hanging fruit things here. I'll call it. So like Beyond Big Thunder, Tropical Americas. Um, I also think for Walt Disney World specifically, I wouldn't put it past to get an update on the Test Track 3.0 with what's going on with that at Epcot. And I think they're also going to, before they really start diving into a lot of the details here, um, they're going to go into just acknowledging some of the stuff that's happened since we really kind of had like a destination D23 or D23 Expo. So at Walt Disney World in particular, you had Tiana's Bayou Adventure open just a couple months ago at the end of June. And then you had the Country Bears Musical Jamboree go through that update, which is actually a really great update. I was a little nervous about it, but got a chance to see it a few weeks ago when we were down there and was pleasantly surprised with how good that was. So I think they're going to acknowledge like some of the things that they've touted in the past, but I think they'll eventually rip the band-aid off, so to speak, and start to get to all the stuff that we're anticipating. But I do think the Disneyland Forward thing is a very lucrative um, concept. It was great to see it get it approved by the Anaheim City Council earlier this year. So hopefully we'll see some more tangible ideas as to what those plans look like. Be that a third gate at the Disneyland Resort, be it extensions to Disneyland and DCA. We'll need to see. A lot of the stuff was kind of very pie in the sky previously, so I think it'll be hopefully a nice peek behind the curtain to see what Josh Damaro and the Imagineers have been working on for the past, God, 3-4 years for that project at the least. So it's been a while, but exciting stuff all around. Excuse me while I have my coffee here. Yes, I am an evening coffee drinker. Um, this is the A Couple Travelers editing studio, my office in our house. So this is where all of our YouTube videos get done. And this is where we're hosting the live stream tonight. But yeah, like I said, great to have some fellow theater fans in the house here as well. Do we have some favorite um, Disney attractions? This is what I always like to ask fellow Disney fans. What uh what are your favorite attractions from around the world? Be that ones that previously existed, be it ones that are relatively new. Um, I will be the first to admit I'm a big fan of Carousel of Progress in the Magic Kingdom. I know I saw some floatings of a rumor of that potentially getting some sort of update. So kind of waiting with bated breath to see what happens there. And then you can't knock the classic stuff in Magic Kingdom as well. So Mansion and Pirates, but would be remiss if I didn't mention like Flight of Passage over in Animal Kingdom and what else? And then over in Disneyland, Radiator Springs Racers is an awesome ride. So I think that's one of my favorites over on the West Coast. But haven't had the chance to been to go to any of the international parks yet. But um, hopefully that is something for us in the future here. Yeah, the Frozen musical is a filmed version of the West End production. Yep, lucky enough to be a priority ticket holder. Very nice. One word, magical. Yep. That is very apropos for all things Disney is magical. I love that. Although not often mentioned, I love the Indie Coaster at DLP. That's Yeah, that is kind of a little bit of an underdog. That's awesome. Um, that's cool. Love Splash Mountain, Rise of the Resistance. Yep. Good that Splash Mountain still is alive and well over in Tokyo Disneyland, and yeah, Rise of the Resistance is just a marvel on so many feats and storytelling and technology and everything. So really great attractions there. Hey Ben, will you be giving live updates? Yes, I will. So obviously, as we know, Disney, for whatever reason might be, is not live streaming the Horizons Parks panel tonight from D23. So basically, want to take this as an opportunity to start aggregating the live updates that'll be coming in from X and some other platforms, Instagram, TikTok, etc. And basically kind of hopefully be your guys one stop shop for all the updates that'll be coming in. I think we'll see video clips from a lot of the media that's there, be it Scott Gustin, WDWNT, a lot of those big platforms. But I have all my windows open here of Instagram and Twitter, or I still call it Twitter. I know it's technically X now, but yeah, this will be a really great discussion and time to celebrate among Disney fans here. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. Happy to have you here, and thank you guys for joining. It's looking to be a good one. Um, and let's see if this works here. But if I switch my screen, yep. So this is a photo of what it looks like inside the Honda Center in Anaheim. Looks like they're doing some theme park trivia to get kicked off. But yeah, just about 15 minutes away here. So we got Blog Mickey there. We got WDWNT. So got all the sites ready to go for you guys. I just love it when intellectual property are given their own unique attractions rather than the common type copy paste attractions. Same reason I love Alice in Wonderland maze. Yeah, yeah. I think when there's a lot of different opinions there on how intellectual property in the Disney parks is treated, but I do think there are some good examples out there of what Disney is able to do well when it comes to intellectual property in the parks. So I think one of my favorite examples of recent years is kind of like the reverse engineering of intellectual property in the park. So, for example, when they made a Haunted Mansion movie, right? And then preceding that is making a Pirates of the Caribbean franchise out of what was originally the attraction in Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So at the same time, I think it's also really cool that we get lands like Avengers Campus in DCA where they're able to infuse Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. And like I do think if Walt were alive today, like he would be proud of how they've one kind of expanded the company through the purchases of Lucasfilm and Pixar and Marvel and 20th Century to really be able to give them those avenues to have IP in the parks. But I agree. I think it's great when IP is given their own kind of time of day, so to speak, in the parks, and especially when it's done well. I think it's great to see what Imagineering is still able to do. Moana Journey of Water is another great example of how IP, yeah, 100%. So we were just in Walt Disney World like 3 weeks ago. And I think the trepidations that existed around that attraction specifically was how does it fit in Epcot, right? And I think some of the initial videos and photos that I saw when it came out late 2023, it was all looking in a good direction. But I kind of like reserved like full judgment until we get to see things firsthand, which we typically do with anything like that we'll like formally review on YouTube or just like want to give our thoughts on. But I do think they really hit it out of the park in terms of the theming, and just how it fits in Epcot in the New World Nature area. It was a really great, kind of what you're saying here, really great example of how IP can more authentically fit into a park, and it's not like fitting a square peg into a round hole. But yeah, highly recommend that, especially if you have kids too. I think that was Jenna and Mai's biggest takeaway from Journey of Water and Epcot was this is great for the kids on a hot day. And we were in Florida in late July, so it was scorching. And just how they have all the little interactivity with the different play areas, and the different water features. It's a really easy way for parents to kind of like hang back and have kids just kind of go off and do their thing with obviously the parental supervision. But um, yeah, a Moana Journey of Water is a really, really good example of that. Um, I think maybe a not a great example of how IP was infused is, you know, I guess it's different for Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, but I'm still not fully convinced as to how Tiana's fits into Magic Kingdom. I think some of what we might hear in a little bit here, with kind of the Beyond Big Thunder, might make a little bit more sense as to how a New Orleans kind of like bayou attraction fits into Frontierland. I know there's kind of been rumors of an overall Frontierland refit and redo at Magic Kingdom. So if that is something that is kind of coming down the pike here to make Tiana's Bayou Adventure more of a relevant attraction in the new Magic Kingdom area, I think that would make a lot of sense. I do think it is good where it is in Disneyland, because you already have New Orleans Square, and obviously that is very thematically relevant and genuine. So I don't think it was bad by any means that they gave Tiana an attraction. I think it was a good update on a number of fronts. But overall, was a little, I guess, scratching my head as to how the Bayou attraction fit into Frontierland. So hopefully we'll see more tonight, but if not, um, still a great water ride for Magic Kingdom. Fun, totally random question. If you were hired to make a fifth gate at Walt Disney World, what land attractions would you put in your park? I love that question. So when I have pondered what a fifth gate for Walt Disney World would be, um, it's been a number of things. The first idea I had, was a through and through Villains Land. So a little bit of what's been rumored, um, for Beyond Big Thunder at Magic Kingdom. So you obviously have the Magic Kingdom, right, where it's all fairies and pixie dust and everything is happy for the most part. Um, but such a big part of Disney IP and stories are the antagonists. So really giving them the time of day, and being their own park. So I always thought that idea would be really lucrative. So it was a little bit of validation, if I had to say, to see them float out that blue sky idea at the last D23 Expo. So that would be my first example or first thought of a fifth gate at Walt Disney World. The next one would be, and I don't know what you would call it, but basically the idea would be a resurgence and kind of a rejuvenation of old attractions. So kind of giving them a second chance at entertaining guests. So we're talking, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride from the Magic Kingdom. We're talking Great Movie Ride. We're talking 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Um, you know, I think that would be a really, really fun way to just take everybody who's always harping on Disney about not acknowledging enough of the nostalgia and the history, and just saying, here's a park that gives you all of that. But then the problem in turn that comes with that is when you want to keep that park updated, eventually those rides that came back have to go again, you know? and even it gives like new life to things like the Adventurers Club, stuff that was at Pleasure Island, which is now Disney Springs. So those would be my two ideas. You think we'll hear anything about a Carousel of Progress refurb tonight? Seeing a lot of buzz around it. Um, Selfishly, I hope we don't, because I was saying at the top of the stream here, that is one of my favorite attractions in all of Walt Disney World. I love the Sherman Brothers. I love the simplicity of it. I love that its ties to Walt and the World's Fair and everything. I wouldn't be mad if they kept the story but gave it some TLC to bring it into the modern day. I know that fourth scene uh, has been outdated for like 2 decades now. I think it was designed to be like a turn of the millennium, turn of the century thing. And now being here in 2024, almost a quarter of a century later, I do think I wouldn't be completely upset if we saw a COP refurb if they kept the story in line, right? So keeping John and Sarah and the family there, but like making John a new audio animatronic and just bringing all of the new technology that Disney's been able to bring to life over the last 20-25 years into that attraction, I think would be great. What I wouldn't really like to see is, for selfish reasons, I wouldn't like to see that storyline completely go away and be taken over by some sort of IP. I do think, the whole idea of progress is something that was so near and dear to Walt and how the Walt Disney Company got started. I mean, we have a whole, uh, attraction on progress, but then Epcot, like that whole park was centered around the idea of progress, right? The experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Like it's all forward thinking. So we'll see. Like I said before, waiting with bated breath to see if they do announce anything about Carousel of Progress. But I tell Jenna all the time, if the day comes where that attraction goes, I will be the first one to chain myself to it, before they rip it away from us. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I always thought for a fifth gate, just have a reject park, a park designed for all the characters and IPs that couldn't fit anywhere else. Random land and attract. Yeah, yep. Not a terrible idea. I think that would be a really fun challenge for Disney. Actually, would be to take something with an idea, or to take an idea like that with like, hey, here's all your reject stuff, like stuff that didn't really fit anywhere else, and make it work. you know. So I thought that could always be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the thought of a fifth gate is just so lucrative for Walt Disney World because, like, I mean, if Animal Kingdom was an example of what they're able to do 26 years ago, like, imagine what they could do now, right? And we see examples of that through Galaxy's Edge and through Pandora, like just the level of theming and detail. So, I mean, I think as fans, we all just would love to see that be scaled to a full park, a full day park, and not just like a 12-acre land like Galaxy's Edge. I mean, Galaxy's Edge is great, don't get me wrong, but like, I think over the last however many years, Disney has really been kind of taking that playbook and like, let's just make lands, Toy Story Land, Pandora, Galaxy's Edge, Avengers Campus over on the West Coast, as opposed to actual new gates. I do think Disneyland on the West Coast will be an exception to that rule with Disneyland Forward. I do think a third gate out there is a distinct possibility of Disneyland Forward, either with the area that they have the concept art of already, or just taking over the Toy Story parking lot and making that the third gate for Disneyland Resort. So we'll have to see. But it is 10 o'clock here on the East Coast, means it's 7 o'clock on the West Coast, and so we should be getting started here fairly soon. Just seeing what Twitter has in store here. As long as it doesn't become Carousel of Progress featuring Moana, I'm happy. Yes, I agree. I didn't mind Moana in things like Phantasmic. Funny enough, Jenna and I were at the first Phantasmic showing that they had back in Disney World after the closure and the refurb from COVID, and so we were the first people in person to see those. Pocahontas, or was it Pocahontas? No, but it was at least Elsa from Frozen, and then Moana, and I forget the other third they had. It might have been Pocahontas, um, or no, Mulan. I think it was. But that, I mean, I had never had more energy in a Disney park than we were there. Like the noise level of that crowd was insane. So it was that is something we'll never forget was being there for the opening night of Phantasmic. So it looks like we're starting off with some musical performances over in the Honda Center. WNT posting, is this D23 or a concert? So, seeing some other updates come in. This will not be restricted filming like last night. So, on X and Instagram and stuff, might not be. We actually might start to get some photos and videos coming straight from the Honda Center, which is great. With Epic Universe, Universal UK, and the fact that Epic Universe have already started filming planning applications. Yeah, yeah. Again, I think it's really interesting with what Walt Disney World's going to do about a fifth gate, because on a recent earnings call, or was it the annual shareholders call? Bob Iger made a comment about, we've been anticipating Epic Universe for years now, and he kind of made it sound like going back to even like Toy Story Land in Hollywood studios, like that was them starting to answer Epic Universe. And to be honest, I don't completely buy that, right? Because yes, it's great that you're adding capacity to these parks through lands, but you know, for example, like Galaxy's Edge may have been like a net increase in capacity, but you took things away from Hollywood studios to get that. Specifically, some of that whole Grand Avenue area in the back of the park, in addition to the Epic Stunt Show, or not the Epic Stunt Show, that's Indiana Jones, but the Lights Motors Action Show that was back there. I mean, that was a theater that sat probably a few thousand people, I would guess, at any time, and they had 5 or 6 showings throughout the day. So, I mean, that's a capacity eater right there. I think the case could be made that you can fit more people into Galaxy's Edge, um, but we'll have to see here. All right. With the Planet Fitness Black Card. So just finding some video streams here, some tweets, and we'll see what we have going on. See, Fresh Baked is in the house for all your Disneyland coverage, which is great. Looks like we're starting off with some sort of musical performance. But where's everybody joining from tonight? I know we had a West Coaster here. We had somebody from the UK, which is great. Where else are people joining from? See if we have a global audience. And apologies if I'm looking off to the side here. I just have my other screen going for all these updates coming in. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I do have a microphone hooked up here. Was trying to get our good camera working, but the Canon webcam app was not being kind to me this evening. So we're stuck with the Mac webcam, but hopefully it looks all right. Madison, Wisconsin. Very cool. Love the Midwest. But to be frank, even if they did know or predict Epic Universe, their claims at Toy Story Galaxy's Edge, Tron, and Tiana's, or their reaction to Epic, in my opinion, then yeah, they're not. Yeah, I agree. Right, they're not on the same level. Um, it's one thing to bring in a fifth gate. It's another thing to bring in lands. Right. Um, so I do call BS on that a little bit, right? And I love Bob Iger. We went to the same school. We both attended Ithaca College, so there's like a good, kind of like camaraderie there in terms of like the connection to Disney as a Disney fan. Um, but yeah, I agree. Like it was a little bit of a long shot in terms of how you say you were anticipating Epic Universe by planning for like with Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge and everything. Is it about to start? Yes. So, I mean, they probably say 10 o'clock, but it's really like a 10:05, 10:10 thing to make sure that everybody could get in the arena, get seated. Um, this is a new thing for them this year in terms of like the scale of D23 Expo. Previously, they just took over a large area of the Anaheim Convention Center. But this year is the first time um, they went down the street to the Honda Center, which is an arena, and filled it with the fans for these larger expos. So they had the entertainment showcase here last night, and they're having the Horizons Parks Experiences panel here tonight. So I think they're just like operationally trying to figure out how to get people in there and seated at the same time. So I'm looking at a live video right now, and there's just like a musical. There's a musical performance going on. So Josh is not on the stage yet. So we'll have to see when this actually kicks off. Looks like they played the new Country Bear Musical Jamboree song. That's cool. Um, they knew back then when they started on Toy Story they should be ready to open the gate by now. Yeah, you're not wrong. Why would Disney not live stream this? The whole point to create buzz. I can't figure out why. Ben, you're taking the words out of my mouth, my friend. I had the same thought. I mean, I've read a bunch of different things. I think um, um, it could be a number of things, like streaming rights to the Honda Center, which doesn't make a ton of sense because they are streaming a portion of this on Fortnite, but I think that's only really the Fortnite exclusive portion of the panel, because Disney made that like $1 billion investment in Epic Games. But yeah, I don't know. Some people were saying that it's because of musical rights, that there's gonna be a lot of musical performances here at this panel. But if these are musical Disney songs, like Disney has the rights to it, so they should be able to work with YouTube and other platforms to make sure like it's not a copyright strike, right? Some of the rumors is that Fortnite thing is like exclusive streaming rights or something. Yeah, I saw that too. Um, I think it was being construed a number of different ways. Um, but I think my takeaway from that is only like the Epic Games Fortnite portion of the panel is being streamed to Fortnite. And I forget if that's live or after the fact, but I do think it's also a little bit of a missed opportunity here for them um, not to streaming on Disney Plus, right? I know this is just out of the latest earnings call. This is the first time that Disney Plus turned a profit since its inception. So even if you charge people like $9.99 to get a one-time like pass to the D23 live stream, I don't think it's a reason technologically why they wouldn't be able to do it. Like Disney is the largest media company in the world with a whole streaming infrastructure. There's no reason why they weren't technologically able to do this. My guess is that there is some legality, not political, like legal conflict of interest or some other reason why they're not able to do that. Be that a musical rights thing, be that a Honda Center streaming thing. I don't know. Um, they are streaming it direct to cast members. I know that, but maybe since that's more of a gated uh, experience where you need like a login and credentials, I don't know. But I also heard too that like they might have wanted to. They've heard things over the years that the live attendees of D23 Expo weren't really getting the full value out of their ticket. Um, so maybe that was a way of Disney saying like, hey, if you want to see this panel in real time, like you need to pay for a ticket to be here. But obviously that leaves a bad taste in the mouth for things like D23 Gold members or um, Magic Key or annual pass holders, like people who like show their fandom in different ways, especially when you know, I believe tickets to D23 were were set up through like a lottery, an online lottery, like a virtual queue to get on Cosmic Rewind or something. Loaded onto the Fortnite map they made for the stream yesterday, and it specifies that a small portion of the panel is on Fortnite. Yeah, yep. So only a part of it. Didn't Disney say they were done with Blue Sky this year? By the way, yes, they actually did say that, which is super exciting. As part of the D23 Expo and that whole experience, um, they have the overall like expo show floor where you know Marvel and you know Pixar, like all the IP and like the different divisions of the company have some booths set up. So WDI, Walt Disney Imagineering, has a booth set up there, and so at that booth, Bruce Vaughan, WDI's chief creative officer, was kind of giving an opening introduction to it, welcoming people in to the booth, and he said that you know we have moved from the blue sky phase to putting shovels in the ground, which is you know as fans that's something we've really been waiting to hear ever since the 2022 D23 Expo, where everything was blue sky and nothing was really tangible. And we all walked away with this collective feeling of like, well, what was that, right? Um, there wasn't anything to like anticipate or look forward to. It was like, oh, theoretically, we could talk about or we could build what's on beyond Big Thunder. I have my theories and reasons as to why, you know, they couldn't go beyond the blue sky phase at that time, and I don't think it's because they weren't ready. I think there was something, you know, in the Disney ecosystem holding them back. Be that Bob Chapek at the time, or um, financial implications of coming out relatively shortly after COVID. I mean, this is 2022, right? So it was, you know, they were still the parks weren't fully operational around the world yet. Um, yeah, 15-minute segment for the Fortnite thing, I think is what we're anticipating, which is actually a pretty sizable chunk of the panel. I think this whole thing tonight is meant to be anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes, and considering it's already 15 minutes past the start time, we might be in for a little bit of a trip here. So we'll see. But thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to talking all things D23 Expo with you guys. Just checking Twitter here to see. It's got a live performance from yesterday. What do you think the hidden models at the Imagineering booths are? I think it's Tropical Americas and not Beyond, but actually Disneyland's Tomorrowland. Um, yeah, I think Disneyland Tomorrowland is such a silver bullet's the wrong phrase, but like that has been something that Disneyland locals and fans in particular have been like hoping for forever, right? So if your prediction is right in that one, and I agree with you, I do think one of the models is Tropical Americas because I've heard that that concept is more tangible than Beyond Big Thunder. Um, so really interested to see what the dynamic is between those Walt Disney World larger updates tonight. I think a lot of this um, is going to be leaning more on like tangible updates and like real concrete next steps for Animal Kingdom because like permits are filed, the WDI construction trailers are already set up at the park. We haven't seen any of that for Magic Kingdom yet, so I do think Tropical Americas is further along than Beyond Big Thunder, but regardless, I do hope that we get more of a tangible update as to what Beyond Big Thunder could hold as well. But I would agree with you. I would say that one of the models would be Tropical Americas, and the other one, if we're really being hopeful, would be a Tomorrowland reboot for Disneyland, or my third prediction would be an Avatar land for Disneyland, or Pandora, whatever they're going to coin it. Looks like there's still a musical performance going on. Seeing what the latest is here on Twitter. So that's what's playing. So they have the Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter Band from DCA playing. So yeah, these things always tend to go long. So I just saw from DSNY newscast. He said um, that the entertainment showcase was meant to be 2 hours, and it went 2 hours and 45 minutes last night. So yeah, but thank you guys for being here. Happy to be amongst a group of Disney fans talking about some exciting updates. I think that's a good prediction. The Fortnite stream will include all of the gaming segments, not just Fortnite. I would tend to agree. Yeah, because Disney does not have a solid gaming sector. I do know there is a subdivision of Marvel Entertainment, of Marvel Games, um, but we don't really know anything about it, right? So, I mean, the $1 billion investment in Epic Games was not nothing small. Um, Even for Disney, $1 billion is nothing to sneeze at. Um, I do think they see a lot of opportunity there when it comes to gaming, as evident by that investment. And I think as well as they look to reinvent something like ESPN and what that looks like as a direct to consumer property. Um, I do think gaming might be a portion of what ESPN's future is as well, in terms of you know football video games, baseball video games, things like that. I heard someone say something about Doctor Doom rumors about Hollywood studios like a year and a half ago, and now Marvel is switching Kang Dynasty to Doomsday. I find that interesting. Yeah, um, yeah, that was super cool at Comic Con. Seeing Robert Downey Jr. come back to the MCU, not as Tony Stark or Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom, the next big bad. So that's super cool. But I'm not entirely sure about Doctor Doom at Walt Disney World. I think specifically because he is a brand and a character that is at Universal Orlando. They have Doctor Doom's Fearfall Tower there, and Disney has that contract or that agreement with Universal that says only, and I don't know the specifics of the language, but it's basically Disney cannot use Marvel characters in their parks west of the Mississippi River, i.e., Walt Disney World. So that is why we have things like an Avengers campus in Disneyland, but not an Avengers campus in Walt Disney World. I think they're able to skirt around that by by going with Marvel characters that are not already in a Universal theme park. So that's why Guardians of the Galaxy is in Epcot because they never had a place in a Universal theme park in Orlando. But Doctor Doom getting into Disney World might be a little tricky because you already have him as an attraction in Universal Orlando. So we'll have to see. I don't think that agreement is going to last for long. I don't know what the timing of it is, um, but I think there's going to come a day where Disney will either buy Universal out of that agreement because they want to really use their IP to their fullest potential. Um, but something kind of always on the back burner here as a possibility. All right, looks like it is starting. We're getting a sizzle reel playing here. I'm gonna run the audio from this video that I found, but see what I can get out of it. But we'll report here on all the new updates that are coming in. But this is exciting. Let's see what they announce. Yeah, I thought Doctor Doom was the only one they could use, but I guess that was, and I could be wrong too, right? I mean, Disney is such a big company. Um, oh, this is great. Looks like looks like Patrick Warburton from Soren was giving them the safety info for the expo tonight. That's amazing. That's really really cool. Um, a standalone Wolverine game in a game called Marvel 1943 set in Caps era. That'd be really cool. Thought the agreement with Universal is that they had the rights to the comic book version, but Disney has the rights to the movie versions. Didn't know about the location rules, and that could be a portion of it too, for sure. Um, I do think like the comic likeness is true because all the Marvel usage of those characters in Universal Orlando, they're all the comic book versions, right? So in Islands of Adventure, that land is Marvel Superhero Island. And so it's all the animated form of Spider Man and the X Men and Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four and things like that. You're absolutely right that like the Chris Evans Steve Rogers is counter to what that animated version is, obviously. We are starting here. They're really leaning into this Horizons thing pretty heavily. So I don't think that's too much of a play on Epcot Horizons. It's just more of like the essence and the idea of that like, hey, there's brighter days ahead here for Walt Disney Worlds and or for the Disney parks around the world for that matter. Hence why we have no comic book variants at DCA. Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I loved how they include Patrick Warburton as the safety demo. That's amazing. Josh is on the stage. Let's see if he's wearing white sneakers. He's wearing white sneakers. That is his uniform. I'm praying for Villains Land, but think they're just teasing us. We'll see. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow. Yes, there is. 12,000 people in the Honda Center tonight. That's impressive. It's all just teaser for the destruction of Carousel. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. We've got a lot to share. That is always That is always good to hear, Josh. We're not going to get anything really tangible here for a few minutes. Like they're going to go through their whole dog and pony show intro. Like he's talking about the legacy of the Disney company right now, more than 100 years, things like that. It's how they start off a lot of their big updates. So he's being very transparent here in his communication, which is really smart. They heard. That's a really, really smart move by them. So he said, "This isn't blue sky. Dirt is moving. This stuff is happening." They knew that that was a lot of the blowback and pushback they had um, from last time around. So for him to say at the upfront, "Hey, we're doing this. Like we hear you as the fans. That's important." Japan Space Mountain concept art looks so cool. Yes, it does. Yeah, that is going to be a really dope update to that attraction when it's done. I think it's a while to go though. We're still like years away from that opening, but yeah, that's going to be exciting. Josh is acknowledging the cast members, rightfully so. Gotta love Disney cast members. Bright and boundless future. That's some of the words they've used as well. He's talking about how some people have been speculating about what some of the things have been. He said some of you were pretty close. Some of you were also way off. What is everybody here most excited for tonight in terms of like what'll hopefully be a really tangible update? I have my predictions, but love to hear from you guys as well. 2027, I believe, for Japan Space Mountain. Yeah, I could see that. All right, let's see what they kick us off with here. Oh my gosh. They have John Stamos singing A Dream is a Wish. That's pretty funny. Obviously, from him playing Uncle Jesse in Full House. That's cool. He's playing the piano. Just concrete plans is all I want. Yeah. And based on what Josh just said, I think we're going to get just that. He said we're beyond blue sky and dirt is moving. So, I mean, it can't get more clear than that. It can't get more clear than that. Than Josh saying, "We're doing this. We're doing this. All this stuff you're gonna hear tonight is actually gonna happen." Yep, he said, "Quote: Everything we're going to share with you tonight is an active development. Quote: Dirt is moving." All right. They have a full band on stage too. This is really, really impressive. Yeah, yeah. I found the SoCal stream as well, but this is kind of like they're obviously not talking about it, so this is kind of a space for us to you know discuss and review and analyze and all that kind of good stuff. So, um, they're obviously not going to talk over the people who are there, um, but we get to do that, which is cool. They're just kind of going through some like an animated like intro sequence here, but very atypical from how they've started these kind of things before. Normally, it won't be like a musical performance. Normally, it's like Josh going straight into it, but he kind of came out, did a little bit of a preamble, and then kind of turns it over to John Stamos to play that to play Dream is uh, the Dream song, and now they're just doing some animation here. Yeah, so they're just going through all the different parks around the world. So they showed Orlando, they showed Anaheim, they're showing Paris now. That's not a band. That's larger than an average orchestra. Yeah. Yeah, you were absolutely right. And I think this is just a really great example of, how Disney could use a venue like the Honda Center to their advantage, right? This is hype. This is really hype. Like they're as if the Disney fans weren't hype enough about this, but they got to play a 3 minute. They got to play a 3 minute video here to get us even more excited. They're in Hong Kong now, or I'm sorry, Tokyo. I don't know if there are Easter eggs in these. They're all like it's all animated like silhouette imagery. It looks like. And I think we're all just about ready to start getting some tangible updates here. It's Tokyo Disney Sea. They're just going through all the different parks, like with silhouettes of some of uh, the different things. So they just showed Tower of Terror and the volcano at Disney Sea. Now they're showing a Disney cruise ship. What looks like it's going under the Olani symbol. So obviously, those are part of the Disney Experiences segment as well. It's not just the parks around the world, but DCL, Olani, DVC, Disney Vacation Club. All those things are under Josh Tomorrow's purview, and I'm sure we'll see some more specifics here about maybe the Disney Treasure, the new cruise ship that's going to come out in December of this year. Disney Destiny is the next Wish class ship that comes out after the Disney Treasure. Um, so we'll see maybe some updates on that as well. But yeah, all of that stuff is under Josh tomorrow in his purview as Disney experiences. So um, obviously the parks is like the big thing that everybody's really hyped about, but you can't forget about Disney Cruise Line and everything. But John Stamos is back. He's just finishing up his song here. It was a nice little musical intro. And that is quite the arena. Josh Tomorrow said 12,000 people there. So smart to pair Shanghai with the pirate soundtrack. Best ride there. Oh man, I know. Oh, you went there earlier this year. That's awesome. Very cool. Um, yeah, that Pirates ride looks incredible, and that's actually that ride system is rumored to be coming to the states, possibly for um, a new attraction in Walt Disney World. But I think on the short list is how they would use that for a Pandora or Avatar attraction at Disneyland is that boat technology. So yeah, that ride looks amazing just with the way the boat moves and the use of screens, but also real tangible props and stuff. That's super cool. Um, John Stamos is speaking. Not sure what he's saying. They're showing Horizon-themed animations of each of the Disney parks locations around the world, backed by live orchestras. The introduction to the big reveals. Yeah, so that's very thematic of them. Just this whole idea of Horizons. So that whole intro is playing off that, which is great. What else did you like about Shanghai? I've heard admittedly mixed things about the park. I've heard it's beautiful. I've heard some of the rides are great, specifically Pirates and a number of other things. Hello, Stephanie. Thanks for joining. I believe the Walt Disney World rumor is Lion Kingdom, Lion King ride and Animal Kingdom. Yes, I heard the same thing. Um, I mean, Festival of the Lion King is a great show. Um, but I mean, would absolutely love to see a Lion King attraction in Animal Kingdom, and kind of expand on um, that IP in that park. Makes a lot of sense. If you guys are looking for some, oh, it looks like there's talk about Disneyland 70th right now. Obviously, that's a big thing coming up next year. So Disneyland opened in 1955, so 2025, 70 years. It was just yesterday we had the 50th, which is crazy, or the 60th at Disneyland, 50th at Walt Disney World. But if you guys are looking for some older, or not older, but just like some fun Disney vlogs, I said hi to my friend Steph here in the chat. Jenna and I went on a Disney trip with her and her husband not too long ago. So those vlogs are out in the channel now. You can go check those out. We did a Hoop Doo musical review night. We did all the parks. So it was a lot of fun. So if you're looking for some Disney vlogs, you can go check those out. Roaring Rapids was great. Would love more thrill based water rides at Disney. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah, Disney's done a nice job of adding some thrill rides to their parks recently, with like Cosmic Rewind and obviously they kept Splash Mountain, or they kept this ride system of Splash Mountain, but rethemed it to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But that's still a thrill ride, right? With that log flume style. So they're starting soft here. They're not jumping into Beyond Big Thunder or any of that stuff. They're talking about the Disneyland 70th anniversary and all the stuff coming to the park next year. So my guess is that hopefully they might piggyback some um, Disneyland updates on the back of the 70th stuff. So we'll have to see here. But that would make the most sense in terms of how they're presenting their information. And looks like here's the logo for Disneyland 70th. I like the gradient with the colors. It's nice. Jetpacks, their version of Orbitron was unique. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot they had that. You often forget that Shanghai Disneyland is the newest Disney park in the world, and that opened 8 years ago. It opened in 2016. Um, so, needless to say, if they announce a new gate here, um, I mean, it'll be at least a decade from uh, a new park to a new park opening, because it's not like they're opening it by 2026. That's way too soon. I will say a little. I mean, and this could be a reason why they were having some trouble with the streaming rights or just getting it on streaming. Was that we heard it was going to be a lot of musical performances, and already in the first like 15 minutes they had John Stamos, and now they have this other Disneyland performance. So no real updates yet on what's happening, but I do think the communication flow coming from Disney in terms of Josh coming out at the top and saying, "Hey, we have real big updates for you tonight. They're all tangible. They're all happening." I think it was again a really conscious and smart move on their part to not lose people through this, because if they were going to structure the show this way, with all these performances, they don't want people getting bored and kind of like losing interest. They want people to stick through and wait for the updates to be coming through. So if he wasn't saying concretely that big updates are coming through, you could have lost people. So the fact that he was very confirming of that was great. A lot of unique attractions that are reminiscent of classics but have their own twist. Yeah, I've heard that about Shanghai as well. So beautiful park overall. I know that's Bob Iger's baby in a number of respects. I mean, that was like very much an earmark of his first tenure as CEO, was when he really wanted to open a gate, because opening parks was very reminiscent of his predecessor, Michael Eisner, who opened Hollywood Studios. He opened Animal Kingdom. He opened DCA. I believe Tokyo was under no Tokyo was before him, I think, but Disney Sea might have been under him. But Eisner obviously had a lot of parks opening under his time. Is that John Barrowman on stage? It says Darren Chris and Skylar Aston. I don't know John Barrowman. Google. Oh, it doesn't look like him, but he looks familiar though. I know the name. I know Darren Chris and Skylar Aston. Uh, Skylar Aston, American actor. Oh, he was in Pitch Perfect. That's what he's familiar from. This is a hell of a long musical performance, man. Let's see what Twitter's saying about it all. No news yet. Just more song and dance numbers. I know. We'll get there. These things are never quick. These panels. Like we said, the entertainment one ran 45 minutes over last night. But Josh is back here. So they're going to start off with some Disneyland announcements here, I think. Not just the 70th, but like with what they're doing here. Avatar. All right, let's see what they say. Man, if they start with some Avatar news for Disneyland, they're coming out of the gate swinging in terms of actual news. That'd be great. Oh, and I didn't pick up on that, but now that they mentioned that, I just saw somebody say they started the whole panel here tonight with "If You Could Dream It" from Horizons, the attraction at Epcot, which is super cool. Oh, we have concept art for Avatar. So this is a larger view of what we had previously seen. Wow, it looks awesome. He's still calling it an experience, but it looks like a pretty big land. So taking us to a whole new location in Pandora.
And Ash,
Here's the concept
and
art.
future Avatar films. Yeah. And it will be at a scale and at a level that is worthy of these epic stories. One thing I'm particularly looking forward to is an innovative new attraction that will bring all the action, all the excitement, and all the wonder of Avatar to life in a completely new and thrilling way. We'll invite our guests to take the adventure of a lifetime.
So I think that Shanghai boat ride you were talking about, this is this might be that. So they're talking about an innovative new attraction. And so this land is going to be
We'll discover dense forests full of incredible animals and bioluminescent flora,
that looks cool.
taking us all the way to the wide open sea.
Bioluminescence like Animal Kingdom.
Can be beautiful. If we lose our way, it can also be dangerous. Right?
Here's that
It's
concept
going to
art
be a
again.
dynamic,
So my
intense,
guess is
and
that this is the
emotional
facade for the
experience
show
on a
building,
grand scale
kind of like they have
that we
that Walt Disney
know
World.
our
All of
guests,
this,
all of you, are going to
but
love.
not sure
They
where
are
this is
gonna love
going.
it. But
Yes.
Allie, for you, what is it that you love about Avatar?
Well, Josh, everybody looks better in blue.
All right, Allie. Well, listen, I love the planning sessions that we've had so far. The creative looks so phenomenal. And the experiences that you have in store for our fans are like nothing that they've seen or that they've felt before. Allie, thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
So that's an expansion of what they showed previously. Looks like they're leaving it at that. Oh, so that might have been DCA. That's interesting though that it still feels a little blue sky. Yeah, so it is. So Avatar Land is coming to DCA. It'll be inspired by The Way of Water and Fire and Ash, which is the Avatar 3 essentially that they announced at the entertainment panel last night. So that's some of that Disney synergy just like happening happening in person or coming to life essentially. They're doing having a Coco performance now as he talks about Disneyland. But what are thoughts on Avatar? Let's see here. Sorry, I've been away from the chat for a second, but yeah, Landau, that he was quite the icon for Lightstorm. Super excited to see what's going on with Disneyland's Avatar Land. Yep. Love Pandora, but not a major Avatar fan, so great for DCA. Smartest place to use it. Yep. Sounds like a crazy statement, but they did actively say it's in DCA. Yeah, I missed that, so thank you guys for calling that out. Yep. Yep, they're performing Remember Me from Coco. Um, I am curious to see, though, like, I mean, them including a Pandora Land or an Avatar Land in DCA, you're just moving further and further away from this park that's always had a little bit of an identity crisis, right? Like, you know, I think they made it a stretch with Avengers Campus to tie it back to California, right? Like that uh, Stark Industries kind of like industrial area. Um, that was always like a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, I wondered, I venture to see how they're going to start to tie Pandora to California, or if they're going to move away from California overall. I would see that as a pretty distinct possibility because this only kind of exacerbates that identity crisis for DCA a little bit.
Imagineers drew inspiration for this attraction from classics like The Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. You're going to see, you'll hear, you'll feel Miguel's journey to the land of the dead as you travel through colorful, expansive
Getting a
spaces.
Coco
Of
attraction.
course, we're bringing our skeletal cast of characters to life in a big way with the latest in audio animatronic technology. Now, work is underway and will be breaking ground in 2026 as we create this celebration of everything that we all love.
Wow.
And if you haven't guessed it already, music, it'll play an important role in this attraction, just like
So
so many of our Disney experiences.
this is interesting. So he just said for this Coco attraction, Disneyland breaking ground, not opening, breaking ground in 2026. So that means they're not even starting construction on that for 2 years. So this is interesting. This is really interesting. Like I I mean, I won't say it was a complete, bait and switch from what they've said previously, but um, yeah, I mean that's an interesting timeline to give for your first example. I think if you come out and say like, this is stuff that we're doing, um, yeah, looking forward to riding it in 10 years. I know, Ben. I know. Um, yeah, I'm not sure that was the best example to lead with in terms of timing. Like, you know, um, you need to give us something more than that, right? Because breaking ground in 2026, that means that it's not opening for at least 2 years after that, and we don't even know in the park where it's going. Right? Is that a Disneyland Forward expansion across the street there into that new area? Because I don't know where they're going to fit it into current Disneyland. Are they going to take away a piece of Tomorrowland? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think not to get too negative. This is all stuff that's at least happening. Um, I think selfishly as fans, we all want it to happen on as quick of a timeline as possible. So I would say initial reactions for this, it's like it's good that we're hearing definitively that all this stuff is happening. Um, but it's still a little bit of the old past where it's like we're not getting specifics. It's like, hey, this is going here or this is going here. Like the first two things that they've announced are stuff that we're doing, but like we have no idea where it's going. So, needless to say, the speculation and the rumor mill that is going to be coming from this stuff is going to be insane. I know if Pandora are going to DCA, um, there's talks about Hollywoodland and using that as the Pandora footprint, or I don't know, are these the first two examples of things that we're going to see across the road in the Disneyland Forward area? We'll have to see. I feel they should have put those later projects at the end so we can have something to get excited about. Yeah, I don't disagree. They have no timeline for Avatar. Yes, that was very evident as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still early. They've only announced two things, so we have a ways to go. I mean, I still think there's going to be a lot more to discuss here for Disneyland, so I will withhold like full review and judgment until we kind of get to the end of the panel here. But let's take it to Twitter and see what the Twitterverse is saying. I will say the concept art for Coco looks pretty cool. So doesn't look like a flume boat ride. This looks more of like your Three Caballeros Pirates of the Caribbean style boat ride. But I hope these are a lot of tangible set pieces like Pirates with your audio animatronics. Um, so if you take those A1000 figures that you have in Tiana's and bring them to Coco, I mean, that's just going to be awesome. And if you bring these sets in, it's going to be really cool. But that is some really good looking concept art. I will give them that. Um, but yeah, work begins in 2026. That's still a ways away, which is crazy. I hope they give us some more like near future things here before this full panel is up. And I think we're starting to see the ebb and flow of like the pacing of this panel too. Like Josh will come out, give you some announcements, give you some updates, bring it back to some more musical performances or what have you. Let me check in and see what they're talking about right now. They're showing Encanto. Oh, they're doing a rendition of Wishes. Oh, Pentatonics is performing. Are they bringing back Wishes? Guys, are they bringing back Wishes? Are they bringing Wishes to Disneyland? If so, getting on a plane now. That was the show that I grew up with as a kid in Walt Disney World. So that'll be really cool. That'll be really cool. I actually think it's smart to start with these things that are further away and end with the biggest, closest stuff. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think that would be great. I agree with that. I think they'll probably use the updated boat ride system, not the Shanghai Pirates one, but the new one they use for Tangled Disney Sea. Yes, I think that's a great call. Actually, that is the next iteration of the slow moving boat ride. So that would be really cool. Yep, announcing shows. So this could very well mean Wish is coming to Disneyland. That is pretty cool. Yep, I'm trying to get updates here on the Paris show and the Tokyo show. Yep, so that was the new nighttime parade for Magic Kingdom. It's called Disney Starlight, brought to life by the magic of the Blue Fairy. So that was a rumor that is now confirmed, which is cool. Um, that was another piece of low hanging fruit. Nighttime parade coming to Magic Kingdom. The park really needs that. So that's really exciting. Disney Starlight. I think that's a good name. I think that's a good name. So inclusive of Encanto, inclusive of Peter Pan and Cinderella. It looks really good. Looks really, really good. I'm interested to see what they do here with this next round of updates. Because they just did wishes. It looks like they're showing some illuminations imagery here now, too. But while we wait for that, oh, it's like a new updated version of Main Street Electrical Parade. It doesn't look. So here's the concept art. If you give me 1 second. So, I mean, I do you do see a lot of kind of like that fiber optics, on it, in terms of the lighting. Yeah, so I could see this as a little bit of an upgrade of the Main Street Electrical Parade, um, but I mean, all in all, a new nighttime parade coming to Magic Kingdom, not a bad thing by any means, because that park really needed it. And again, that was on the short list of things to be announced here tonight. So um, already, I think a lot of the speculation that we were seeing, is coming to fruition, right? In terms of looking at DC, looking at DCA, you're getting getting Pandora. I don't think nobody's really talking about a Coco dark ride or boat ride for Disneyland. So cool to see that. But again, Disney World, Walt Disney World Nighttime Parade was on the short list. So some good validation in terms of some of those updates so far. And for copyright reasons, I'm not listening to what they're performing, but it has the Illuminations globe and the World Showcase icons from Epcot. So like, they're not gonna announce a new show for Epcot. They just introduced Luminous, so I wonder why they had that there. I was at Disneyland Paris a little bit back. Since I'm a pass holder in the Main Street Electrical Sky Parade, was incredible hearing that soundtrack again. I wanted to cry. Yeah, yep. I mean, and you guys had the drone show at Disneyland Paris for the 30th. What looked incredible, looked absolutely incredible. So I know we have the drone show that's at Disney Springs now, but I think we need the drone show to get into a Walt Disney World park. And Epcot would be a great park for that. But Josh is back, so let's see what he says.
Disneyland Hotel and the Art of Marble Hotel, and the results, I think, were spectacular. Now we're transforming our second park in Paris, which began with the introduction of Avengers Campus. We'll tell
Talking
the
about
next
talking
chapter
about Disneyland Paris now.
story with the world of news to share with all of you today. Our new Frozen Land will open in 2026.
Frozen Land opening in Disneyland Paris in 2026.
Along with this debut comes the park's new name, Disney Adventure World. And we'll celebrate this new name with a nighttime spectacular that only Disney can.
Yep.
And I'm excited to tell you that we have a brand new show that will debut in 2026 on the park's new lake, Adventure Bay. This will be a
New nighttime show coming to Disney Adventure World in Paris on their new lake, Adventure Bay.
of course, have original music. Adventure Bay will be the gateway to all the different worlds in the park. And that includes a story that I know that we've all loved for the past 30 years.
Star Wars.
Our friend Rafiki would say, it is
Oh, bringing Lion King. Oh, cool. Lion King is coming to Disneyland Paris. That was rumored too.
creating a major new Lion King attraction for Disney Adventure World in Paris.
Oh, cool. Getting a Splash Mountain style flume ride for Lion King.
Movie is celebrating its 40th anniversary. And our attraction, it'll be based on this animated classic.
Very cool.
You're going to have a chance to explore the Pride Lands and the new area of the park with dining, it'll have shopping, you'll have a chance to meet some of the favorite characters. And then when you're ready, you'll head down into the caves beneath Pride Rock to follow Simba from cub to king. It'll feel like you step right into that movie. Now to celebrate this great news with us, you may know them from Disneyland's Wondrous Journey or the soundtrack
This looks great.
Bayou Venture. Please give a Pride Lands welcome to Tank and Bangus.
All right, so they're doing a musical performance, but let me get some concept art here for a Lion King coming up. But yeah, it looks like here we go. So very reminiscent of Splash Mountain, right? With this kind of feature here at the top. You have Pride Rock here. That looks really cool. I hope that would be an animatronic. That would be awesome. But yeah, flume style Splash Mountain ride coming to Disney Adventure World. Currently, Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, which is another park that has had certainly an identity crisis. But I think it's good that we're starting to see some more tangible examples of this coming together. Of those different lands kind of centered around Adventure Bay, as Josh was calling it. So you have World of Frozen. You now have the Lion King land. So, I mean, that's the first Lion King land of any Walt Disney Disney park around the world. So I think it's going to give people a reason to go to Paris and a reason to go to Walt Disney, the Disney Adventure Park specifically. So that's really, really great to see. And exciting, too. We have any Lion King fans here? No needed. Lion King for Paris. Lion King Splash Mountain. Paris needed this. Yes, it did. You were absolutely right. Sorry for the caps. Yep. No need to be sorry. That is exciting stuff. Interesting choice to put a water ride in a place where it's too cold to go on a water ride 9 months of the year. That's actually a really great call. I mean, you might be able to get by with it because if they do use the same kind of build structure as Splash Mountain, a good portion of that ride is indoors. But your point is well heard. I think a large reason why Splash Mountain, Disneyland, and Walt Disney World, or Tiana's Bayou Adventure now, is so popular is because it's freaking hot in those parks most of the year. And it's a good water ride. So, yeah, interesting choice from a climate perspective for sure. But yes, it does look incredible. As a UK park goer, and the fact that most Disneyland Paris patrons are from there, we will go on a water ride in the snowstorm. Well, you heard it first from a local, so that's good to know. But Disneyland Paris, I think, is on Jenna and I's short list to go to next. So if you guys haven't followed a couple travelers before, first of all, thank you for watching along with us tonight. But I'm only one half of a couple travelers. My wife Jenna is the other half. She's just not on the live stream tonight. But we're both big Disney fans, and like I said before, we have a lot of Disney stuff out in the channel already. If you want some vlogs and some resort tours and things like that, but yeah, we both really love Lion King too. That in addition to Toy Story for me, that was a big movie of mine growing up. First animated movie I think I ever saw in theaters, if I remember that correctly, but I could be wrong. All right, Josh is back on stage. Let's see what's next.
The reason that we're together tonight is because of one man's dream. And here tonight, we're all part of that.
Oh, we might be getting the Walt Disney animatronic.
Down through the generations. And now next year at Disneyland, we're going to experience that dream like never before. I'm so incredibly honored.
Oh man.
A new show for the Main Street Opera House, and we're calling it Walt Disney: A Magical Life.
Oh, cool.
It'll feature, for the first time, an audio animatronic figure of Walt.
Wow. Walt Disney: A Magical Life going to the Main Street Opera House.
He pioneered 60 years ago with Abraham Lincoln. This new show will bring together the past, the present, and the future of Disney storytelling. And importantly, after its debut run, A Magical Life will play in rotation with our fan favorite Great Moments.
So after its initial run, it's going to debut with It's going to rotate with Moments of Mr. Lincoln. This looks great, though. Look at this.
Maybe even decades now. We just had to wait for innovation to catch up with our dreams. And we're finally ready. This is a huge responsibility.
That looks really cool.
We're grateful to share this journey with members of the Disney family. In fact, Walt's great-nephew Roy T. Disney recently visited the Imagineering campus where I had a chance to walk through our progress. He was so moved by the experience, and we can't wait for all of you to share in that joy. Roy's here with us tonight as our special guest.
Walt's nephew is there tonight, wearing some Mickey ears. That's cool. This is great. Bob Iger hinted at this yesterday, but to have a Walt Disney animatronic in his park, that's just awesome. It's going to transform into Walt's office. They're playing Feed the Birds. Somebody's going to sing Feed the Birds. Yep. Oh, Meghan Trainor. That's cool. But yeah, let's take another look at this. That looks awesome. So Josh said the Main Street Opera House transforming into Walt's office. First audio animatronic figure of Walt Disney. And then after its debut run, it'll go back into rotation with Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln. But I mean, if they weren't already doing a good job of trying to be nostalgic with what's in their parks, I mean, it doesn't get more nostalgic than this. So that's awesome to see. Let me get back to the chat here. Did you see about the Raccoon animatronic? I did. I did. I think that's really cool. It's kind of like I kind of see it as the next iteration of like the Turtle Talk with Crush technology, where it's not just like a mouth moving and somewhat along with like the words that are being spoken by an actor, but it's like the full body movement. So I kind of see this technology of like somebody like an actor backstage in like a mocap suit, like capturing all the movements of Rocket Raccoon, and then obviously capturing the voice too, and then rendering it in real time, which is like crazy to think of, but really impressive. So I saw the Rocket Raccoon example. I also saw an example with Mickey Mouse too. So you can have a live chat with those animated characters, which is super cool. Because obviously, they had the mask the character the full life character version of Mickey, where at a time they had like some pre-recorded like phrases that the cast member inside could start from inside the costume, but it's pretty limited. So I think this is like expanding on that a little bit. Good choice not to replace Lincoln with Disney, as he wouldn't want that. Very true, very true. But to share the stage is a mad respectful thing to do. 100%. I couldn't agree more. Great song. Mary Poppins songs are a great way to memorialize Walt. He loved the movie. Yeah, I mean, Richard, the Sherman Brothers. I mean, played "Feed the Birds" on the piano in Walt's office every Friday afternoon. That's what they did. Um, so I'm sure that will be a part of this show if this whole show is taking place in Walt's office. I'm sure we're going to hear some "Feed the Birds" and some other stuff too. That was Walt's favorite song, and that's why the Sherman Brothers played it for him every week. My only fear is that in that concept, does the Walt face look off to you? Like, is it going to be a screen face? Um, I don't know. Let me see. I mean, it's too early to say, right? Um, I mean, I hope it's not a screen face. I mean, if it's like the ones in Frozen Ever After in Walt Disney World, like it's not the right move. I hope it's an actual. Um, oh, that's nice. There's a nice kind of musical, inspirational picture of the Sherman Brothers after she sang. That's great. But I, I can't see them doing a super nostalgic play. Um, on the Disney Legacy with an actual Walt Disney animatronic, and then do a screen face for him. I unless they're just completely out of their mind, I can't see them going that route. All right, the Indiana Jones theme is playing. Um, yeah, that concept art of the Sherman Brothers is was beautiful. Let me see if I can find an example of it here. Yeah, here it is. That's a beautiful picture of them with the musical notes and the different colors. Musical tribute to Walt and the Sugar Brothers. Gotta love that. And I think what's cool about this is, at his core, Josh really understands, and Bob Iger for that matter, really recognize the duty they have as stewards of the Disney name and the Disney brand, to carry forward um, this centuries old or century old legacy. Um, So I think it was very much something they wanted to do, um, to get Walt into his park, right, into Disneyland. So again, that was a rumor that was on the short list for a while. So great to see that actually come into fruition. Did not go to did not go to any lengths of giving an opening date for that, but I assume that means we're a ways out. But it sounds like it was actively in development at at WDI, so we'll see. Props to Megan Trainor. She sung that respectfully with no changes. Or yep, Popified the song. I agree. Yeah, she's super super talented. And she's actually, fun fact, the godmother of Royal Caribbean's newest cruise ship, Utopia of the Seas. Jenna and I love to cruise. We actually just went on Icon of the Seas earlier this year on its maiden voyage, and had a great time. So we love Royal Caribbean. Have not been on a Disney cruise yet, but I think that is going to be on a list for us at some point soon. But yeah, Megan Tran is super talented. I'm glad she did that song respectfully, not too much of a poppy arrangement like you said.
Debuting alongside one of the most legendary characters in movie history.
It was like stepping into a world where everything was larger than life. I felt surreal.
All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Trying to catch up.
Disney's legend, Harrison Ford.
Still talking about boat ride. Da, da, da. Let's see. Okay. Walt Disney animatronic. Twitter does not do a good job of chronologically ordering. This is actually a good take. Somebody said the use of "we go on" without announcing the return of Reflection of Earth is sickeningly sadistic. So they did do we Pentatonics did do "we go on." Rotating table for Lincoln is already in the works, like ready to go, and I think, yep, talking about Indiana Jones, yep. Yeah, and I know I forgive me, I can't pronounce his name, but he was just in Loki, and then he was in the original Indiana one of the original Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford. But yeah, he's on stage now talking to Josh tomorrow, I believe about Indiana Jones. But he was great in Loki season two. If you haven't seen that show, go check it out on Disney Plus. Yeah, and he just won an Oscar recently too. He's super talented.
This work, this work's going to begin in phases, making sure that you still have a chance to experience Dinosaur one more time. Indiana Jones will be one of two signature attractions in the new land.
Talking about Tropical
With our
Americas
first
now.
land, please welcome the President and Chief Creative Officer of Walt Disney
Bringing
Imagineering.
out Bruce Vaughn, talk about Tropical Americas. Said there's two signature attractions for this land, one of which is the retheme of Dinosaur to Indiana Jones, which we knew. Sounded like they were breaking ground this fall, if I heard Josh correctly. And I believe Bruce is out now talking about the rest of Tropical Americas. This concept art is different, actually. They don't have Encanto on here. So a little bit different from what we saw at Destination D23 last year. New story for any other indie attraction in the world.
Of course, nothing's going to go wrong here. So this is just one of the stories that we're telling in this new land, as I was saying.
So it looks like they took out Encanto.
Guests can expect when they visit the tropical American Isle, yes. Well, okay, so when you walk over from Discovery Island, you'll enter a new town we're creating called Pueblo Esperanza, which means village of hope. Much like Harambe in our Africa land, this town feels lived in with a long, rich history. You'll find it in the heart of a lush rainforest, and the buildings there are in a classic Spanish
Creating a new town called Pueblo Esperanza, which means village of hope.
like to gather and tell stories. You'll also find a big hacienda, and in there we're going to reflect the food and culture of the region. And I cannot wait to try some of that.
Big hacienda, new dining area. There's a carousel here, which we knew we were getting.
Has created a carousel featuring his favorite animals from Disney stories.
I can't imagine this is the second signature attraction. The carousel is typically not a signature attraction, so there should be something else coming here.
Center, we have the first one we made on display. Let's go see that. I personally love carousels, and this one is such a very special take on this amazing attraction. Not only will our young families love it, but everybody's going to love riding this. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you're going to have to go back at the 90s, especially right on this ride. Now, there's more. Over on the other side of the town,
All right, let's see what he says here.
house, you may all recognize.
Oh, okay, it still is Encanto. It didn't look like it in the concept art, but it looks like they kept it the same.
Tonight I'm happy to announce Bruce's team is bringing to life our first major attraction based on Encanto.
Yep. Okay, so that didn't change. That didn't change. That's good to see.
What can you tell us? What can you tell us about the story?
Here to talk about the attraction more.
So when you walk up to Casita, our whole house will feel alive just like in the film. Another reveal for tomorrow. Head over to our pavilion at the center because we're going to have the convention center. That's where it is. It's there all day. No, it's great. But we have actually a beautiful model of Casita and the entire land on display. So you got to get that out.
Yep. So you were right. One of the predictions we had before. So one of the models on display over on the show floor is of Tropical Americas with the casita and the whole land. So that's great.
Remember, allows him to communicate with animals. And we're going beyond the movie story with our attraction. Casita has magically brought furniture to life for us to journey through the various rooms in the house. Ultimately ending up in Antonio's room, which has been transformed into a rainforest. There we'll hang out with Antonio and all his animal friends. Of course, along the way we'll bump into Mirabelle and some of the other members of the family, like perhaps one famous uncle.
So this looks this Encanto attraction looks to be an Omnimover attraction if I'm looking at the concept art correctly. So the whole idea is you're going through the casita. Here you go. Yep. So this looks very reminiscent of Omnimover, like Haunted Mansion or Nemo or Little Mermaid in Magic Kingdom. Little Mermaid in Magic Kingdom, Nemo and Epcot. But these vehicles right next to front and back of each other. And you're going through all the different rooms of the attraction. Then they said you end in Antonio's room, which is his rainforest where he talks to the animals and everything. So that makes sense. I thought that was always going to be the tie-in to Animal Kingdom anyway. So yeah, I mean, not too much of a stretch. I mean, I think Encanto fits more in Animal Kingdom than Magic Kingdom. if you have the animal tie-in with Antonio. So looks like we're keeping a thrill ride with the reskin of um, Dinosaur to be the Indiana Jones ride, and we're getting a net new attraction, or two net new attractions with the Encanto kind of Omni Mover ride, and then the carousel. Is that what they said? Did they say 2027 opening or breaking ground? I'm trying not to listen to too much of it for copyright stuff, but let me go to Twitter here and see what they say. Yeah, I see Plain White Tees performing now. Not going to have that on for copyright, but here's some other concept art of the Tropical Americas land. So that's kind of the entrance from Discovery Island. Opening the whole land in 2027. That is sooner than I thought as well. So, uh, you know, if they're breaking ground this year, I mean that's anywhere from 2 to 3 years for construction, which I mean isn't too bad for Disney considering they opened Tron in Magic Kingdom after 5 years. So yeah, that I will admit that is sooner than I thought too. I mean, obviously, difference between early 2027 and late 2027. Um, but uh, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, good that we got a date for that. I think it would have been a miss if they didn't give a date. Um, you're predicting 2028, 2029. Yeah, I could have saw that too. But I think it's good that we got something in the next 3 years here. So, um, I mean, at the latest, it'll be 3 years because we're breaking ground this fall, and it opens in the fall of 2027. That'll be exactly 3 years. My guess is if they're doing something like this for Animal Kingdom, they'll want to have it ready as early in the year as possible to do their typical like Memorial Day esque time frame for opening stuff. So I'm still too early to say, but hopefully we'll get an early 2027 opening for that. Some more on the Encanto attraction. It says guests arrive on the day Antonio receives his gift to communicate with animals, and the casita brings furniture to life to allow us to travel through the house. That's pretty cool. Like if they said Indy was 2027, get it, but the whole land. Yeah, 2027 for the whole land is ambitious, but I think they've learned from their past mistakes and they wouldn't be saying 2027 for a land if they didn't think they could actually do it. And if you think about it too, you know, closing Dino Land USA is not that big of a lift, right? Because a large part of it is mobile, right? You take out those games that are there. You take out Triceratops Spin, which is just a carnival style ride that loads up on a trailer and you haul it out of there. Um, Really, it's the retheme of Dinosaur that'll take a while, but that ride itself probably won't take more than 18 months to 2 years if it's a similar timeline to what they did with Tiana's. I mean, from them closing Splash Mountain to them opening Tiana's Bayou Adventure, um, it was it was like that in Disney time, right? It was relatively quick. So I could see that. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at some. They're talking about Zootopia now and Animal Kingdom. Oh, I think this is expanding on that Tree of Life show that they're doing for Zootopia. So it looks like that's still on the table. Um, but Josh did say that the Dinoland USA is opening in phases. So my guess would be that they would find a way to open the dinosaur or the Indiana Jones attraction first, because that seems to be the most expeditious thing to do if it's just a reskin of dinosaur. And then the rest of the land would take a little while. I don't know how you would get back there. Well, actually, I know because you could go past the Nemo Theater and straight to there, but and then close off the rest of Dinoland USA. So that would be my guess: is that Phase 1 is Indiana Jones opening, Phase 2, or if there's a Phase 3, would be the rest of the land. So that's what I anticipate for Dinoland USA. Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening in November. Zootopia show, Animal Kingdom. Yet we knew about that, but they're essentially confirming it here. They're showing a lounge or something here. Oh yeah, November 15th, 2024. That was a short list thing for D23. So yeah, opening it right before the holiday season. So that's smart. What is this? Oh, this is the Pirates Bar. They're just kind of flying through this stuff, though. Not getting much information. Let's see, I lost the stream here, so see if we can get that back. All right, so the Pirates Bar is coming 2025. Now they're talking test track. The stream's breaking up, so I'm not getting much on test track, but we'll see if we can. Using the same concept art as Destination D23. Oh, but it's opening 2025. Man, 2025 is going to be a big year for them. I mean, that could be somewhat of their that could be somewhat of their answer to Epic Universe, but again, somewhat what we were talking about before is really not the same. But looks like you're getting the Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge opening in Animal Kingdom in 2025. You're getting Test Track opening in 2025, which I think we expected. That was going to be a long reskin. But what they're not saying is like specifically where some of this stuff is going. So I think we could venture to guess that if they closed Tortuga Tavern at Magic Kingdom, that the Pirates Bar is going to go in there, straight across from Pirates of the Caribbean, and then we obviously know where Test Track is. But at the very least, great to get an opening date there. Oh. Wow, Billy Crystal on stage. That's pretty cool. He's doing something here, not sure what though. Everybody's still asking to find out what's behind Big Thunder Mountain, which I agree. Pirates Bar and Magic Kingdom coming in 2025. That concept art looks awesome. Oh, that's what it was. The Spaceship Earth Lounge. That looks really cool. Billy Crystal's talking about a Monsters Inc. thing, I'm sure. Maybe for Hollywood Studios. There's been a rumor that uh, the Star Wars launch bay in that animation's courtyard could become Monsters Inc. Yep. Yep. So, didn't hear. Yeah, new land for Hollywood Studios. So Monsters Inc. land. We're gonna get Monstropolis in Hollywood Studios. That's cool. That's cool. So not really on the short list, I would say for D23, but good to hear nonetheless. I mean, if everything is like we were expecting, it's going to go in the animation courtyard area of Hollywood Studios, kind of flush up against the side of Rock and Roller Coaster there. So effectively, that ends Star Wars Launch Bay and the Disney Junior Dance Party and all that stuff that's going on over there. But cool nonetheless. And I mean, nice to have Billy Crystal on stage to introduce that. I mean, Hollywood Studios has really been under discussed for this D23 because it obviously went through in the last decade Toy Story Land, Galaxy's Edge, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Um, all the animated IPs wasn't predicting Monsters Inc. Yeah, yeah, it could have gone. It could have gone either way. I mean, they have Toy Story already there. I mean, Monsters Inc. is already a pretty big thing for them. Um, so it's been in the rumor mill for a while, right? So I'm not surprised by it. I actually think it's a pretty good move. I guess the question is, what's the attraction, right? The land, I'm sure it's going to be Monstropolis on the outside. I just hope it's a good attraction on the inside. What's been everybody's favorite announcement so far? We've had a lot of good things. We've had Coco for Disneyland. We've had Pandora for DCA. We've had the new nighttime parade for Magic Kingdom. We've had Indiana Jones. We had the Tropical America stuff, which we knew about. There's a big lag on the stream right now, but it looks like they're trying to talk about what the attraction is going to be for Monsters Inc. Billy Crystal singing. So, no, I hope they show us concept art because if there's no concept art, then we're ways out from opening at Hollywood Studios. Yeah, Lion King. Yeah, Lion King, Disneyland Paris. That was also a really good one. I forgot about that. I mean, my guess is for Hollywood Studios, they might try to spread out some of those updates if that park just got so much attention in the last decade. But remains to be seen. Yep. Opening summer of 2048. You know, I there has been Disney previously where that wasn't a far off possibility. Um, I mean, it depends if there's concept art. If there is concept art, I say 3 or 4 years. If there's not, I say 5 years for Monstropolis.
Monstropolis.
Here we go. We have concept art.
All laughter, power of the city. As part of this new Monsters experience, you're going to get to tour the Laugh Factory. I don't know about all of you guys, but the first time I saw Monsters Inc., all I wanted to do was zoom through the door vault like Mike and Sully, right?
Is this the reskin? Oh, is this Rock and Roller Coaster reskin?
You are going to go into the factory and experience the first suspended coaster ever in a Disney park.
First suspended coaster ever in a Disney park. I bet. Is this taking over?
See how those claws, they grab the,
This looks cool. Is this must be taking over Rock and Roller Coaster?
and you're going to be along for the ride.
Are they going to keep the show building but put a new coaster inside?
Project that starts next year, and I can tell you that there is so much excitement and Imagineering for the land. But that's not all we have planned for Walt Disney World. In fact,
More Walt Disney World news
I have
here.
another really special guest to join me on stage to talk about this next one. Well, okay, problem here. Anybody see?
So they're not talking specifics about Monstropolis, but oh my God, are they doing it?
What's the here on stage?
Well, see, now that's what I'm calling you here on this video
They're bringing cars to Walt Disney.
Your connection
I think this might be the Beyond Big Thunder rumor come true. Is there's cars going to Magic Kingdom and Beyond Big Thunder? That could be right. In which case, wow.
What's going on, buddy? Where are you?
I didn't think it was going to be a thing, but they have Mater on stage right now.
show, and dadgummit, the craziest thing did just happen.
Oh boy, what happened?
My plow broke down. I'm a tow truck on the side of the road, waiting for a tow truck. Now tell me that ain't a kick in the oil pan.
But yeah, my guess is for
Sorry to hear that. Should we do the reveal anyway?
suspended coaster. I was not predicting that either.
Need a damn oppo on turn 7 on a sunny.
You think that's a new ride in the launch space, not taking over Rock and Roller Coaster? If that's the case, and if they have the space for that, then that's great. 2 roller coasters in that park is impressive.
Develop the next generation of Disney experiences. We're always looking for new ways we all love. Which brings me to Frontierland at the Magic Kingdom.
They're doing it.
The American West has always been about keeping your eyes on the horizon.
They're going to bring Radiator Springs races to Magic Kingdom.
That goes for miners in the mountain, bears, bayou, or a race car from the big city. That's why I'm happy to announce we're inviting Mater and Lightning McQueen to a reimagined section of Frontierland. We're leaving Radiator Springs behind and we're heading off into the wilderness with 2 new Cars attractions.
2 new Cars
The
attractions.
first attraction is a thrilling race rally across the frontier. Here you get to climb mountain trails or dodge geysers, splash through mud holes as you take on the terrain. So you better bring your off-road tires for this one. And since we know how much young children love the whole Cars crew, our second attraction is geared especially for our smallest racers, something that the whole family can enjoy. For a while in construction on this new Cars area that'll begin early next year.
Wow.
This is going to bring some new energy to Frontierland as we continue to grow and evolve the story of what it means to explore the American wilderness. All right,
Breaking ground early next year for the Cars section of Magic Kingdom.
Well, now, I appreciate it. Oh, I plumb forgot. While I wasn't able to make it there myself so y'all could see my...
I honestly didn't think the Cars Land stuff for Magic Kingdom was going to come to fruition, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Taking over Animation Courtyard in the space currently occupied by Star Wars Launch Bay when they brought the concept art. Yeah, I'll go back and watch all this too, and thank you for catching all of this as I'm kind of like looking at Twitter and a bunch of things here.
Say, let's bring him out.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Everybody, please put your titles together for Shabuzi.
They have Shabuzi here singing. Is he singing his? He's probably singing his tipsy song. Oh no, he's singing another song. But I mean, that's great capacity for Magic Kingdom. 2 new attractions right there. Because you're obviously keeping Big Thunder, but you're adding more stuff, which is great. I mean, that park really needs it. But man, that Monsters Inc. indoor coaster, that looks so cool. Looks like a family ride too. That's gonna be a cool one. That's gonna be a cool one. I mean, this concept art for Monstropolis looks pretty dope. Right here. Because like I kind of see this as the Rock and Roller Coaster facade, like the big show building, but I could be wrong. I mean, that just looks really cool. The park and that looks really cool. They need the monsters walking around the land though. You need that level of streetmosphere. But what do we think of D23 album of these performances? Yeah. He's doing a cover of Life is the Highway. It's pretty cool. But what do we think about Cars Land and Magic Kingdom? I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it. Didn't get much Epcot, which I wasn't expecting to after the multi-year transformation that we've had there. Aside from, we got some clarification or confirmation that Test Track 3.0 is opening next year. But I mean, that park isn't gonna get a lot for a while. I mean, it just went through that whole World Nature, World Celebration, World Discovery transformation. But hopefully someday down the road we get that 12th World Showcase Pavilion. So it has to be coming someday. That pavilion. I mean, they have the expansion pads for it. They just need to greenlight it. All right. So Shabuzi is done performing. Let's see. I mean, they've been going at it for almost 2 hours of this panel. So we'll see here. Looks like we're transitioning to DCL. Getting out of the parks. Yeah, we're going to Disney Cruise Line now. Unless they have some really big parks news for the end, I mean, they touched upon some big stuff. So unless they're really saving something big for the end, I don't know if we're going to get much more park stuff now that they're transitioning into DCL. But we'll have to see. So my guess is we're gonna get some more info on the Disney Adventure and the Discovery. Sorry, the Destiny and the Treasure.
To our new island destination, Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. We got to look at the Disney Adventure as we prepare.
This is why I think we won't have a Beyond Big Thunder model because I think that's all they'll announce. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Treasure in December. Now, some of you have heard about this. The Treasure will feature a brand new stage production, Disney: The Tale of Moana.
So one of those models,
This is a first look at
one of those models is going to be Tropical Americas
against the
at Animal Kingdom.
to life as a
Um,
tall puppet.
the other model, I don't know if they said, but I can maybe see it as Adventure Park with Frozen and with Lion King as the other model that's missing there, unless there's some Tomorrowland stuff in here that they're saving for the end, and that's kind of the sleeper hit at the end. I don't know, um, but my guess is that the other model would be the Disney Adventure Park.
Show that we're working on.
Let's talking about a new show now coming to the Disney Treasure. Treasure is going to be the newest DCL ship coming out in December of this year.
Signature production will be Disney Hercules.
Hercules is the signature show coming to the Treasure.
Well, from a film which is why I invited someone special here tonight. And she's put her own spin on one of her favorite songs. Please welcome the voice of Meg, Susan Egan.
Another musical performance here. Got it. Yeah. So what the third one could be Pandora at DCA. That would be my guess. I am pretty pleased at the pacing of some of this stuff, though. Like, Test Track next year, um, Breaking Ground and the Cars stuff next year, um, the Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern open at Magic Kingdom next year. That's all. That's all good stuff. That's all good stuff in my opinion. Um, 2027 for um, tropical Tropical Americas isn't too far off. Yep, I could see maybe a new ship model too. That's a possibility. That's a possibility for sure. And if I didn't show it already, here's the concept art for the Cars attraction. So this is Radiator Springs Racers, just with like that Frontierland like spin on it, which I think it works. I think it works, right? Um, I would be interested to see if it's done to the same level and quality of Radiator Springs. With if they have this waterfall, great. But this looks to be the test track ride system, but in Magic Kingdom with this kind of Western feel. I don't hate it. I like how they bridge that gap. I do. But I'll be honest, I didn't think that the Cars IP coming to Magic Kingdom was real. I thought it was more of a stretch, but it turned out to be an actual reality.
And I promise you're going to love it. Actually, you know what? I'll do better than promise.
I swear.
Oh my gosh. They have all for one there. They were singing I Swear. A lot of musical performances tonight. Yeah, you might have been right. New ship. Is that what he said? I had the sound off when he showed that, but there was like 10 ships on screen, which is double the size of their fleet currently. But I mean, they've been going all in on DCL for a while. I mean, that product, from what we hear, is just incredible. Um, but them having all for one here, this is funny. I don't know what the Disney tie-in is here though. Oh, and the Disney Hercules, that's the show coming to the Disney Destiny in 2025. I think Moana is the show on the Disney Treasure. But that's the show on the Disney Destiny. I am interested though they didn't give us more concept art for um they didn't give us more concept art for Test Track. I thought that was interesting. Did I'm seeing on Twitter here somebody saying that the Monstropolis area might be taking over the Muppets courtyard. I know that was potentially a rumor. But so did Josh actually say that it was taking over the Star Wars Launch Bay area? Um, in the animation courtyard, or was it going elsewhere in Hollywood Studios? Because I certainly hope it's not taking over Muppets. All right, so they're done with the musical performance. Let's see what else we got here. Wow. Four new cruise ships coming to Disney Cruise Line. Wow. 13 ships they'll have in their fleet by 2031. Launch Bay. Yeah, you called it. Not just one ship, but four. All right, here's the Fortnite thing. That's impressive though. Four new cruise ships by 2031. So he said between 2027 and 2031, 4 new ships. So that's, I mean, on average, that's, a new cruise ship every like 14 months, which is insane. And about a $4 to $5 billion investment that they're putting into DCL. I believe of each of those. And he didn't say if those are new Wish class ships, if it's a completely new class of ships. It's interesting. Oh, they have Chromio on stage. Cool. Interesting choice, though. Yeah, they're going all in on DCL, which is great to see. It's a great product, and Jenna and I are looking forward to getting on our first Disney cruise. This is all the Fortnite stuff now that they're showing. Unless they're saving a surprise for the end. I imagine we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel of announcements here. So yeah, Disney Epic Games right now. Josh is going to talk more about this. Let's see what he says.
New collaboration with the creators of Fortnite, Epic Games, to develop a new entertainment universe. How many of you in the audience today play Fortnite?
New entertainment universe. This is like that metaverse for Disney that we know they've been doing for a while.
That we showed just a second ago. This is a pretty big moment. Right now, Fortnite players from around the world are watching our show from inside the game. The folks backstage just told me there are more than 1 million people watching right now.
Wow. More than 1 million people watching the panel right now on Fortnite.
With Epic is grounded in gaming, but it's going to be
They're watching it through the game itself.
we're inviting you to play with Disney in completely new ways. So imagine a place where all your favorite Disney characters and worlds they converge into one connected universe. Imagine a place where you can
No concept art show Tower Terror and Monsters Inc. Assuming Tower can't exist in current state, randomly isolated next to his Monsters Inc. area. Yeah, that's a good call. Which might give prudence to the. Sorry about that. Might give prudence to the fact that this might be going in the Muppets Courtyard area. I don't know how much land that is. I mean, I would need to look on a map here to see how much acreage we're working with here, but bringing out Kevin Feige looks like for something Marvel and Epic Games.
Thank you guys for coming out. Exciting night at D23. Be careful there, Pete. You all shared some great news last night, so thanks for coming back on night 2 D23. We've been talking about the possibilities for this collaboration with Epic Games. Hundreds of millions of our fans have already played with our characters inside of Fortnite.
I mean, it's actually not a.
Great opportunity for new ways to tell stories. Jen, I'm gonna start with you. How do you see our
It's not a terrible. I mean, there is actually a pretty sizable.
I can tell you that everyone at Disney Animation is
Yeah, pretty sizable piece of land here if we look at Muppets Courtyard.
in collaboration with Epic.
Let me see if I can measure this out here.
Especially excited because my daughter lets me watch her play Fortnite like for hours.
Is she one of the million people watching now?
Because normally new Disneylands are, I mean,
Horizons Island, so
at least
it's
I think Galaxy's Edge is 12 acres. Um,
Right now, it's kind of 1 million people. So, but seriously, we can't wait. D23, 2 ways for the audience to enjoy their favorite Disney characters and worlds. And now I know that this Disney universe is still in development, but we didn't want to wait to share something with the Fortnite fans, which is why I'm so excited that we are bringing Disney animation characters to the game for the first time this fall.
all right, let's see. And if we include Star Tours in here too, we're looking at about in acres. It's 5 acres, so it'll be a smaller land. If they go over a little bit more towards the Indiana Stunt Show and take out the Backlot Express area, then you're going into 6 acres. So it could be a decent sized land for Monstropolis if you have that coaster attraction. It could easily fit a good sized coaster show building. So listen, I hate to see the Muppets go, but I could see them doing it.
Congratulations on the
I could see
success
them
of this
doing it.
event. So talk to us. The biggest Pixar film animated film in history.
Just the announcement here about Fortnite is they're bringing Disney characters to the Fortnite universe for the first time, which we kind of anticipated.
Storytelling is fundamental to everything that you do and your team do at Pixar. So getting to play in this new Epic Games universe, it feels kind of like a natural fit.
Oh yeah, I mean, from Toy Story on, we've always looked at technology as a great partner with the storytelling that we're trying to do. Pushing boundaries of technology so we can tell new stories is really what we do. And I feel like, in a way, this is a little reminds me of our short films, which we use to test new technology and play with characters. And I really could see this as an extension of that process. We're excited about playing with new original ideas in formats of Epic. So,
Still talking about Epic Games and Fortnite.
and Jen, I don't want to have you let you and your daughter and Walt Disney Animation have all the fun. So I am also thrilled to announce the first Pixar characters are coming to Fortnite this fall, and
Pixar characters are coming to Fortnite as well. The Incredibles specifically.
It will be bold. Dramatic.
That's cool. So the Incredibles will be on Fortnite.
Pete, looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. Dave, I'm coming to you next. What you got for
Just kind of going down the line.
upcoming show?
Yeah, we've been in Fortnite a little bit here, blowing things up and blasting things. The best thing about this announcement is you're gonna get this stuff next week. No waiting.
Promise warn you, it will draw males.
Star Wars coming to Fortnite now too, and then I'm sure Kevin Feige will talk about what Marvel characters are coming to Fortnite. Be interested to see who, if they do like classic characters or if they lean into some of the newer stuff, like a Deadpool or a Sam Wilson Captain America, an Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, that kind of stuff. But looks like Grogu is coming to Fortnite. That's cool.
I get a little bit of that backbling myself. I don't want to. But Dave, as we look out in this new universe, it seems to play to your strengths.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Star Wars, George Lucas always believed in that kind of integration. He blasted the Death Star, right?
In terms of fan popularity, Muppets holds more nostalgia than Launch Pad. I just think it'd be a bad PR choice to put it there. Yeah. Yep. Most of the Marvel catalog is in Fortnite already. Oh, is it? I'm not too familiar with Fortnite. I mean, I know of it. I don't actively play it. Um, so yeah, I'd be interested to see what route they go then for Marvel. If it's newer stuff or more legacy stuff. I mean, my guess if you say that they have stuff on there already, I guess it's newer stuff. So
Why don't we tell everybody about that other thing that you're doing?
Yeah, this I'm really excited about. If you're ever in the park, sometimes you might see me and a friend of mine named John Favreau. We love the parks. Yeah, John, he's the best. We love riding the rides and just going around Starburst, all different things. Uh, we did a little research last Thursday in the park. Rode a particular ride a couple times because currently we're shooting a new movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Be out in 2026. And being huge fans, we were really thrilled when, gosh, you guys asked us to take a look at one of the rides, and we're going to share something really cool. We are working with the Disney Imagineers to do a new Mandalorian and Grogu story for the Millennium Falcon ride.
oh, cool. Mandalorian and Grogu's story coming to Smuggler's Run. That's good. That's good. That because the the Hondo Anaka story was getting old. I mean the same thing with the you know picking up the transport, the cargo, that kind of stuff. So that makes sense. Bringing the Mandalorian and Grogu into Galaxy's Edge through Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. That makes sense.
Response that you've seen is fantastic. It's been amazing. You know, going back to 2018, the relationship
Right,
between
Feige's talking now about Marvel.
2018 is when Thanos first stormed across the island in our Infinity Gauntlet event that was timed to our Infinity War movie. A few years after that, Galactus came and destroyed the whole island, and some of you, or the million, did you say millions, Ron? Million plus, watching, may have seen that clip. That clip of Galactus destroying the island of Fortnite is so cool. I shared it with the team currently making the Fantastic Four movie to get that spirit of Galactus across. It's incredible what they're able to do. And what else I love, and my 11-year-old son who plays Fortnite every day, a lot of people learn about our characters for the first time. Thanos,
Just hoping for some other games news, not just Fortnite.
that everybody can.
They already just did a Deadpool Wolverine collab like 2 weeks ago. The animation engine they used was pioneered by Fortnite, so it makes sense. Oh, got it. Yep. That's all good context.
Games to become an extension of our storytelling, and I can't wait for everybody to see what we have in store in the future with this amazing collaboration. But that's the future. In the here and now, we have something I'm very excited to announce tonight. The next season of Marvel on Fortnite next week, August 16th. And this, let's go. And like Thanos and Galactus before him, there's a very iconic villain coming. It is a character you may have heard us speak about over the last couple of weeks. Coming to Fortnite.
Doctor Doom.
Doom.
Doctor Doom is coming to Fortnite. That's the big Marvel news.
You guys want to see the trailer?
No, they're playing the trailer of Doctor Doom in Fortnite. Looks cool. So they've had Thanos in Fortnite. They've had Galactus in Fortnite. Now they're having Doctor Doom in Fortnite. They're just showing game footage right now, like a trailer. They have Mysterio in here from Spider-Man. A War Machine. I don't know if these are new characters or old characters, but they're in the trailer at least. They showed Cap in there. They have Wolverine, Black Panther. Looks cool. Thanks, Ben. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. I did not think they'd be pushing 3 hours for the parks panel, but here we are. Might be wrapping it up now.
Chris Leonard Express, thank you. It was an amazing.
Unless he's gonna do a one more announcement.
We have so many more news stories to tell. So
New stories, you say? Hey, bargain bin John Williams. Give me some.
Deadpool's coming on stage.
I simply have to tell you that my friends that are singing are delectable. Yes, are the Bibles on your toes and
They had to have Deadpool here.
what? Come on. What's a Deadpool? I'm just an average Disney Parks fan. Dole Whip, Rope Drop, Thank the Venetians. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. No? Fine, it's me. How did you see through my disguise?
it's kind of a gift that I have.
Okay, look here, Joshua. I know you've already said no 100 times, and I don't mean to sound like a broken Yeti, but I thought I'd take this one last chance to pitch my ideas for new stuff in the parks.
Don't mean to sound like a broken Yeti.
Yay! I'm gonna melt your mind like it's a beloved 40-foot animatronic dragon. Welcome to Destination Deadpool.
Oh my god.
Why 75 minutes? Because I have 75 slides of Disney parks pitch ribbons instead. Seriously, you should probably stay.
There's no chair up here.
Isn't your title literally chairman? Behold, page one. Now that I've slid into your tracks at the Guys Midnight TM, I need more, and you need more.
You knew they were going to include Deadpool somehow.
The possibilities are endless. Let's just route style it.
No. Blue sky. It's blue sky.
Not when I'm done with it.
Oh, this might be
Picture this.
the event.
Train chaser. A dueling coaster attraction where you are the beef. Now pay attention, because this next one is going to be a bigger hit.
I wonder if they're going to announce the Avengers e-ticket for DCA, for Avengers Campus.
Even a claim for you, Disney. Enter the Hall of Baby Arms. And don't forget, I come as a package deal with Wolverine now. We got any Disney Marathon fans out there? Huh? See, you got it. If you love the Princess Run and the Villains Run, now you can get ready for Logan's Run. That's right, fun for the whole family. Except for Grandma and Grandpa. They're probably gonna be
I appreciate whatever all this is, but the answer is no. Not gonna happen.
Come on!
You've already got a massive movie. I figured that'd be enough for you. But okay, how about this? We just talked about Epic Games a moment ago. What if I let you have a new skin?
It's behind me, isn't it? No spoilers. I want to see him again. Is he awesome looking? Does he have really muscles? He's handsome, right? Tell me he's handsome.
Yeah, I guess so.
Perfect. Then my work here is done. Hey, thanks again, buddy. You are killing it up here. Seriously, you are on fire. Like your dragon was.
That's great. They did played the Phantasmic outro.
That was rough. Particularly the end there. All right, contrary to what you just heard, we really do have some great plans in store for Marvel all around the world. So let's talk to someone who actually has some good ideas. Please welcome from Walt Disney Imagineering, Mr. Scott Trowbridge.
Oh, Scott Trowbridge. This makes sense. Scott was the lead Imagineer for Galaxy's Edge, which is obviously big inclusion of IP in the Disney parks, and if he's theoretically now leading the Marvel inclusion of IP in the parks, then it's a good person to have on the project.
How excited I am for the next phase of development for these characters in our parks. Earlier this year, we hinted at a big new attraction in the works for Shanghai Disneyland. So let's go ahead and start right there. That's a great idea.
All right, Marvel attraction for Shanghai.
The first time we're going to tell a Marvel story in a major attraction in Shanghai. And that story features one of Marvel's most enduring and globally popular characters, and a longtime personal favorite of mine, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man attraction for Shanghai.
This is going to be a high-energy thrill coaster with all the excitement of a Marvel story.
Coaster.
I don't want to give away the story, but it seems that Peter Parker has gotten himself, well, and us, in a bit of a tight spot. And weirdly, it seems that wherever Peter goes, Spidey's not so far away. Coincidence? Yeah, well, we'll find out. So we're going to have to follow Spidey at very high speeds to get us out of trouble. It's going to be a real thrill ride. Okay, well, obviously.
All right, we're going to move to Hong Kong Disneyland.
Okay.
We have a strong Marvel presence there already, and it's about to get even stronger.
Hong Kong.
You're absolutely right. You know, back in 2017, Hong Kong welcomed the Stark Expo to Tomorrowland with the Iron Man experience. And then 2 years later, we debuted Ant-Man and the Wasp, Nano Battle, to round out the expo there. And now I'm excited to share that we're working to open up the next edition to the expo. So it's, yeah, so it seems Hong Kong fans, all right. Awesome. Tony Stark and the Avengers have invited some of the most brilliant scientists from across the Marvel Universe to collaborate on some unique technology and inventions. He's even invited a young Peter Parker as an up-and-coming science intern. And I just gotta say, the fact that Peter Parker is there is completely unrelated to the fact that Spider-Man is in this render. Can we all agree on that? Okay.
Another Spider-Man attraction in Hong Kong.
All of this new tech draws the type of attention you never wanted from one of Spider-Man's most formidable villains. So now Peter, whatever, has to save the day and us, and we get caught up right in the middle of all this action. It's going to be a huge, literally, addition to Hong Kong Disney.
Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Got some excited fans right here. But Scott, let's come back to our original Avengers campus in California Adventure.
All right, so now they're going to talk about the Avengers e-ticket.
You know they're right. Because since we first opened Avengers Campus, people have wondered, hey, what might be behind that wall? Right? Well, soon that question is going to get answered because we're developing a major new attraction where we'll be able to jump between worlds in these Stark-developed transports, and when the need arises, assemble with Earth's mightiest heroes for a multi-world mission with all the twists, turns, and action of a Marvel story. And you know what? I'm excited to tell you all for the first time here today the name of this new attraction. Are you ready to hear the name of this new Avengers?
Getting the name for the e-ticket.
It's called Avengers Infinity Defense.
Okay. Infinity War. Yeah.
Avengers Infinity Defense.
It's going to impact the whole story of the campus.
At least it's not called Avengers Infinity Adventure.
Training to be heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the campus is still looking to recruit and train the next generation of heroes, but soon it'll be time to put that training
We get an opening date for this, or timeline, that would be great.
point for this new Avengers initiative to defend our world and many others. And it's all thanks to this great new Stark developed technology that allows us to travel from world to
And this is likely going to be the same technology and ride system that's was currently debuted that they're using for the Peter Pan attraction in Fantasy Springs in Tokyo, showing what the ride vehicle looks like.
That was pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah. We can't wait for all of you to get a chance to try this out. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to roll a spoiler alert here. When we arrive at the campus, we're going to find out that some of this portal technology has gone missing. And now King Thanos is using it to wreak havoc across multiple worlds. It's going to be all hands on deck as we assemble the Avengers to take on his army. Now, we're going to be able to team up with some of our favorite heroes.
Showing some concept art for the ride here. Looks like the queue. You got Ant-Man in here.
Yeah, and as the threat expands, Wakanda.
The Hulk, Wakanda.
And we might even find ourselves in New York City, where we might just come face to face with King Thanos himself. Now, this mission, yeah, we're cheering for King Thanos. Okay, all right, gentlemen. All right. Now, this mission, it's going to put us right in the middle of the action alongside the Avengers. And my favorite part is, you know what, maybe we shouldn't give away every twist there. Okay. Okay. You're going to have to experience this story for yourself. But the good news is, as Josh said at the beginning, this is all under development right now. And visitors to Avengers Campus starting next year might just see the construction starting on this project. They will see it starting on this project. This attraction is going to be really special. And that's not all that we have to share. You want to tell them? Oh, I'd love to tell them. Can I tell you guys something?
Construction starting on that for next year.
Something else. D23, you're hearing this first. This is new news. We're adding a fourth attraction to Avengers Campus.
Whoa, new attraction to Avengers Campus.
So Avengers Campus, it's not just a place to train and deploy heroes. It's also a place where Tony and the Avengers invent, develop, and test the new technologies they need to defend our world.
Oh, they're doing the.
Experience will be invited into Stark's workshop to participate in the testing of some dynamic new flight equipment in development.
Oh, they're having
I think they like it.
Stark Flight Lab. Oh, cool. That's a surprise. That's really cool. It's the Forbidden Journey Harry Potter ride vehicle, like those Kuka arms. But it must be Disney's own thing because Universal has a patent on it. So interesting stuff.
It looks incredibly cool. Oh, it is really cool. I mean, you're going to sit in these two-person
Was not expecting that. Was not expecting a fourth Avengers attraction for Avengers Campus, but not mad about it. Not mad about it at all.
grabs you and then flies you around on a flight profile just like you're a superhero, kind of like Iron Man, actually. It's going to bring a fun...
That looks cool. That looks really cool.
You want a pro tip? Can I give them a pro tip, a little insider tip? I'll take it. Oh, yeah, so what will be the insider tip? You're going to want to try this multiple times because you might just get a chance to run different test flights with different heroes. Yeah. I mean, you've come over to Imagineering. You've had a chance to test it out. I know you have. So. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. So this attraction will have good re-rideability because they said depending on how you go on it, you'll have a different ride experience.
Well, there he is. Here's the boss. Bob, I remember that. I remember that. And then Bob called someone else. He brought someone he loves 3000. Because if you're testing out some Stark tech, it's always best to Tony Stark along. You're so right. So maybe this seems
That's cool. It's a photo of Bob Iger and Robert Downey Jr. testing out the ride system.
as Tony Stark as we bring these new experiences to life at Avengers Campus.
That's cool.
Huge news, guys. Is that huge? It is huge news. I mean, it just shows
I honestly didn't think they had the room for another attraction back there behind Mission Breakout and Avengers Campus there, but they're taking up that whole expansion pad, I'm guessing. So good for them. That's going to be some great capacity being added to DCA.
Scott, thank you so much. This is going to make a tremendous impact on the land and California. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool stuff.
Can't do it, Josh. Can't do it. The Fortnite skin was not enough. I am like a Disney adult in a lounge bar scene. Hear me? I need more. Fine. Look, if I can't have an attraction, can I at least have a moment here on stage? Please, por favor? It will give you time to go buy another toy.
Deadpool's back on stage.
Fine. Fine. Scott, you better get out of here. Ghost. Okay. Let's go. I don't want any part of this.
You can do this, Deadpool. This is where all the stretching is over. That is when I run into that sweet, sweet John Stamos backstage. Maximum effort. It's time to summon my favorite American Idol. Come forth, Abby, and sing like Lionel Richie's life depends on it.
Bringing another musical performance. They're doing a Like a Prayer cover from well, Madonna's song, but from Deadpool and Wolverine. And here's the concept art of that that Tony Stark attraction coming to DCA. So same exact idea as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey at Universal. I don't know if it's still those Kuka arms, but it's certainly Disney's rendition of it. Looks cool. It's doing a Deadpool Like a Prayer montage right now. Not sure what it has to do with the parks, but I guess they're, milking their biggest movie in a while. Well, no, Inside Out 2 is their biggest movie in a while, but Deadpool and Wolverine, amazing film. Saw it twice and want to see it a third time. He's just dancing around stage. And they're showing some like He's holding a sign that says "Fix the Yeti." FYI, they have a patent on the rides system of the tracked arm dark ride. They don't have a patent on the Kuka arm tech itself. Got it. Deadpool 3 has passed Inside Out 2. Cool. I mean, both movies were much needed for Disney, whose studios has been struggling over the last couple of years. But yeah. Didn't get to see Inside Out 2. I mean, at this point, we'll probably just wait until it comes to Disney Plus. But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine was hysterical. Really, really great film. I'm guessing this is some sort of finale. I'd love to see a high res version of this someday because I can't really tell what the images on the screen are. Oh, there's Lady Pool on stage too. Deadpool dressed up as a Jungle Cruise skipper. Yeah, I only heard good things about Inside Out too.
Well, I bet you didn't expect us to close the show with Disney, did you? Well, I told you tonight would be full of surprises, and there are so many more to come as we enter this incredible new era. I really want to thank all of you for being here because
So Josh was closing out. Now, are they doing something with Villains Land?
is that right? What would that be?
Yep. Villains Land. They're closing it out with Villains Land.
Look, I'm not going to discuss that race tonight.
Rita Ora singing something. Man, a lot of musical performances in this. A lot of musical performances. So, question here: is this Magic Kingdom or is this just must be the other Beyond Big Thunder area of Magic Kingdom? It's interesting though how they're not calling it Beyond Big Thunder. They're just referring to it as well, they just showed the Cars stuff and now they're talking about villains. I like the musical performances. Sure, we could have had 45 minutes straight announcements, but the way they broke it up makes it feel more fluid. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I can see that. Makes sense. And some big name musical performances tonight. John Stamos, Rita Ora, Shabuzi, Plain White Tees. Um, pretty good acts.
D23, give it up for award-winning recording artist and the queen of hearts and descendants from Eyes of Red on Disney Plus. Rita Ora. That was amazing. All right, we love our Disney villains, right? We love them. Their evil ambition gives us endless possibilities to tell brand new stories.
Villains Land
So excited to announce
concept art.
we are building a villain's land at the Magic Kingdom.
Villains Land of the Magic Kingdom. Yep. That looks cool. Biggest cheer of the night so far.
This land, everyone, this land will be home to the villains that you know and those that you loathe. Which means happily ever after may feel like just a distant dream. It'll have two major new attractions.
Two major
It'll
new
have dining,
attractions.
shopping, and so much more fiendish fun for you to explore. This is storytelling on a grand scale that only Disney can deliver. So be prepared, you poor, unfortunate souls. It's going to be a fearless new vision for what a Disney experience can be. And you're excited, I can tell.
So not much about the attractions, but we did say there was two of them.
That we announced for Magic Kingdom, they represent the biggest expansion in the park's entire history. And these are already underway. Earth is already starting to move. Add that to everything that we have in store for Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, plus everything that we've just transformed at Epcot. There is just so much happening at Walt Disney World right now.
Concept art.
As some of you know, I've had a chance to be a cast member for 26 years. And I'm more excited about what's on
No timeline, no specifics on attractions for that. He did say Earth is already starting to move. We haven't really seen that, so
just like everybody in here tonight. I vividly remember the first time that I visited a Disney theme park with my family. Some of you may have heard this before. My father was so excited to ride Peter Pan's flight with me. He said to me before we got on the attraction, "Josh, it really feels like you're flying." And as our ship sailed through the air, he glanced over at me as if to say, "See, I told you." And I smiled back to him and told him all that he needed to know. And then many years later, I was with my own family, taking them on soaring over California. This is one of my all-time favorite attractions. And before we got on, can you guess what I told my wife and two kids? Yep, I told them it's going to really feel like we're flying. Yes, this like father, like son. And there are 12,000 Disney stories in this room tonight. And just like mine, each of our moments is connected to a Disney experience. Now we're about to begin the next generation of those experiences. And you know what? It kind of feels like we're flying. Since the last time we were together here at D23, we've opened hundreds of new attractions and experiences all around the globe. Mickey's Toontown at Disneyland, Sands of Tokyo, the California Adventure, Tron, Tiana's Bayou, Adventure at Magic Kingdom, World of Frozen in Hong Kong, Zootopia in Shanghai, Fantasy Springs in Tokyo, Lookout Key in the Bahamas. And you know what? This is just the beginning. Over the past couple of hours, we've heard about so many new experiences coming our way. It's really hard to count them all. New lands, new attractions, shows, ships, a whole new digital universe.
Rogue Shout, Disneyland Paris, third expansion plot villains. Yeah. Smartest choice for villains would be to do it the same way they did Fantasy Springs with mini lands. Yeah.
As I mentioned at the top, I am so excited for everything that we're doing.
I would agree.
Can't wait for you to see these projects start to come to life over the next 5 years. And of course, none of this would be possible without
projects coming to life over the next 5 years, is what he said. So some tangible timelines for some of this stuff, some of it not, but I mean, so as Josh is wrapping up here, I mean, I think takeaways are, they certainly delivered on things that they're just going to round it out with a musical celebration. But Josh is off stage. I think they largely, delivered on what, oh my God, the Country Bears. Oh, they brought the Country Bears into the finale of the show. That's great. Is it the full Country Bears cast? Oh, it's the entire, all the performers doing it. I think they're doing Try Everything. But overall, I think they largely delivered on what they were supposed to do tonight. Giving updates on a lot of the stuff that um, we were kind of expecting them to give updates on, and some surprises too. Lion King for Disneyland Paris, Coco boat ride for Disneyland. Um, uh, confirm firm opening dates or firm opening years for um, the Pirates Tavern at Magic Kingdom and for Tron at Epcot. And then you have some surprise or confirmations of Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom, and Monstropolis to Hollywood Studios. So overall, I think it was a very strong expo. Still, not as much definition and confirmation of like where this stuff is going or what it's doing or when it's opening, but I think we have to. So I would say things could. I would say it's a meld of previous expos in the sense of we've we've gotten some high level concepts of what we're doing, like Villains Land. Like they're saying it's happening. Like okay, that's great, but like when, right? And like what are the two attractions? But then we have some more definitive stuff like the Lion King. Like we know what the attraction is. We know like it's where it's going in Disney Adventure World. But I just hope that in the other touch points that Disney has to come, like Destination D23 and the next D23 Expo in 2026, that they really start to tie more of this up, because it still feels a little bit like, it still feels a little blue sky to an extent, even though they said it wasn't. I mean, they could say all along that all this stuff is, happening, which is great. But until we actually start to see shovels in the ground, like that's not the case. But I think overall, big improvement from the last D23 Expo. Lots of exciting things for the parks around the world, and yeah, I mean, it was great watching along with you guys. So can't thank you enough for joining on the ride here. I'm gonna wrap it up here as they kind of finish up the musical number on stage. But thanks for following along and for all the great commentary. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel for more Disney videos. We also cover Universal. We cover resorts around the world for Sandals and Secrets. We cover some cruise line stuff as well for Royal Caribbean. So if all that sounds good to you, consider subscribing. But thanks so much again for all the commentary, for following along tonight. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.